June 28th, call the meeting to order. 6:04 PM. Roll call. Greg?
I'm here.
Dave?
Here.
Alan?
Here.
Courtney's not here yet. Bo, I'm here. Patty Anderson's not here.
I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Anderson's not here.
You're thinking of the other Patty
Yes,
Anderson?
I was.
There
I've
you
got
were.
a story about
I
that.
will. I'm
Right.
sorry about that. It's
It's
my
okay.
fault. You had something that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, are you Doug?
No,
Bo.
I'm Doug.
He's Doug.
You're
He's
Doug?
Bo, yeah.
Oh, that's right, I have seen you a lot before, okay. Well, okay, I don't wanna, I don't wanna bring up a lot of, things that don't need to really be brought up about the parks and stuff, because you parks are the most beautiful. We used to live on Straits Highway, and my kids all went to Inland Lakes, and, we were always a part of, but, I mean, it's amazing how much time I've spent at Co-op Park, because Rick used to coach, for years and years and years, and so we were at every game out there, and then, and practices, and then Paulie, of course, does Special Olympics a lot, his soccer's out there, and he does, so I'm there all the time, walking the dogs, doing everything, and also at the beaches, but what I have found, does anybody here have dogs?
Mhm.
Do you walk them ever at the parks?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what my big thing is, when Katie and I walk the dogs, we always carry bags with us. We always, because we're always, ready wherever we're at. And I noticed that at Co-op, being such a beautiful park, there are spots, of course, way to the back where the snowmobile trails are, where you don't need to really pick up the dogs. I mean, it's in the woods, the dogs are out there.
Right.
However, around the picnic areas and like just like maybe at the area where before the ballpark, they have these really nice waste stations and they're not too pricey. This is, I'll pass these around. This one goes together. This is just showing you at least the
Okay.
size of it.
Yep.
And I'm just giving it as a suggestion. I thought it would be very valuable for the community because I know that it's no fun when you're playing around in this picnic area or when you're near the ball and you see a big pile of stuff. It's no fun, It's kind of, I'm in there so I can talk about stuff like
Yes.
that without any problem.
It happens
But
on the, it
these
happens on
are,
the sidewalks.
these are also, you can just pass these around. These are two that are, this one's here's a little bigger with the receptacle and this one's a smaller receptacle. That one shows, that's a nice one because it shows the size next to the person.
Yeah.
And all the bags that go in the receptacle that are biodegradable. And then on the top part, you'll see a little area where you pull out small bags, and that's the ones that people grab, and you might grab one or two, put them in your pocket, and then when your dog goes bathroom, you fill it up. They're all biodegradable, so it's really nice, nothing is gonna hurt the earth or whatever. And I'm not real sure, like, how far those go into the ground. The one there shows, that's a real good description, the one that you're holding there. It shows kind of like the dirt around it. I believe they might put a little bit of concrete or something and then in it.
But yeah.
But they're not that pricey. I mean, they have some as low as $159. But most people, when they get out of the car, is when it would be the best place. So let's say, when you first pull up to Co-op on the left, where the basketball area is, and that parking lot, to have one maybe there or in that area, and maybe not by way to the back, because like I said, people, why pick it up in the back, But where else would be nice is right where that other kind of cutoff is, where there's another ball field, and there's the bathrooms, and there's kind of like a pull-in area where people park also. Because when they get out of their car, if they see that, I think they would grab a bag or two, and then, but it's just a suggestion. I know we're gonna always carry them anyways with us, like I walk the dog, but it's just really sick, they're really nice. They're at like Sheboygan Beach, thank God you get out of the car and you can pull it up. And some places don't allow dogs, so it's not really necessary, but, and I notice a lot of people in the wintertime, they like to let their dogs run in the ballparks. And if they, in the ball field, and I know they're not supposed to let them run in there, but it happens. And if they're gonna let them run, we'll pick up the stuff. And I have seen people, let me tell you, and there are enough where I've seen lots of people leave it, and it's disgusting. So I thought, well, if it's near some of the entryways, and they are gonna let them run, it's the winter, and no one's using the ball field, pick it up, it's not a big deal. So it's just, like I said, from just a person that is a regular at the park, I just wanted to throw it out there. I don't know if it would fit into your budget, or if you even think it would be something valuable for your community, but just wanted to run it by you.
No, I think it's a good
Thank you.
I
suggestion.
just have one point. Why is the dog looking at the bag?
Because he's excited.
Because he knows.
He's been
Yeah.
conditioned, he
Just
understands.
a thought.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
There's
Yeah.
treats in there.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
how much, see, this one here is a little bit more expensive, but I noticed that this is a
No,
little bit
it's-
larger. It looks a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bigger container.
It's a bigger, which is really nice, but it's a little pricier. It's $3.50 too. It's a little more money.
Well,
so-
it might be a
but
heavier
that's-
tube that's hanging
Yeah,
on.
it
and-
just gives you an
You don't
idea
know.
of the size of it next to the
Right.
girl. That's why I wanted that one. So, okay,
And I
well,
see they have some of those up at the top of the park right there.
They do, right by the
Right on the
library.
walking path,
Right
yep.
by the library.
the top of the park.
And top of the beach right there, the little.
They got the libraries right there.
Oh, they
got
do.
the- They got
They
the-
do.
Right on the
It's
walkway,
really
the
handy,
rails.
and like I said, whenever I see them, I mean, I just automatically before I
At
walk
least
out,
it
I grab
promotes
them.
good behavior.
It's just nice, yeah, it's just nice for people that are walkers all the time. Well, thank you so much for letting me cut into your meeting and stuff, and you guys keep up what you're doing. The parks are just beautiful, love them. And by the way, that Patty Anderson, I have been called, when I've called people, because I'm a home health trainer, and when I've called people, and I'd say, oh, my name's Patty Anderson, I'm here to do a visit on you, I'll be coming out at about 3 o'clock, they're going, we didn't know you were a nurse, we thought you just ran Big Bear.
Yeah.
And I said, oh no, that's the beautiful tall blonde girl, I'm a short little Italian. And I'm your nurse.
But still beautiful.
Right.
Aw. Mr. Maves.
Yeah, Mr. Mays.
Right. Anyways, thank you so much, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
We battled with this
I like
idea
that. I've
for
been
years.
thinking, I actually have been thinking about that. I think that's a good
It's
idea.
probably a good middle ground. We've tried keeping dogs off the parks.
Right.
That hasn't worked. We battled with the idea of a dog park for years, which never
Fair.
came to fruition because of the whole liability issue. If this dog bites that dog,
Yes.
are we liable,
I think we are.
we
but-
didn't want to get into those weeds. So this might be a viable option.
When I started,
Where she wanted to put them.
there was plastic dispensers for dog bags
Yes.
all around, and every one of them was smashed. So, why, I mean,
Yeah.
kids, but,
You know.
so, if you're looking at something, I would not get a,
Well, these look to
A bloody
be
expensive
a
one,
little more, this looks like a metal
right,
beefy.
bottom can, and the top looks like it's a metal container as well.
right.
So it wouldn't be as easy to be
As
broken.
far as the receptacle on the bottom of it, it doesn't need to be that big.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the
Because it's-
size of the dog.
Well, you
Well, you're gonna be taking it out of there on a regular basis, I mean.
Exactly.
pretty much empty those on a daily
Yes,
basis.
they,
Yeah.
You don't want it to be
Yeah.
sitting in there and
Yeah, no,
smell
I get it.
forever.
I get it. So what do we have at the bow? Anything?
nothing at all.
So
Theoretically, dogs aren't allowed,
Right.
theoretically,
theoretically.
yeah, but if you open that door, you're gonna, I mean, if you put those down there, you're opening the door
Right.
for that usage and really,
Correct.
it-
You go down there every morning, there's dogs there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Every morning.
yeah.
And-
They've already opened the door for us.
Right. I mean, when the busy time of the beach is, usually there's not many dogs down there, but the dog walkers are out in force early in the morning,
Yeah.
they're everywhere in town, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, I think investigate it and see how we wanna do it, maybe put one at the beach and one at the green docks.
Green ducks wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, except there's not really, the only people
I
that
know.
really have their dogs there are the ones that, they let them off the boat, so.
I know.
To go, so.
That's my thought. If we had one there and they let them off the boat, it would be a good idea.
Right.
'Cause we could even put it across the street by the little fence on the other side of the road.
Yeah, I think you'd wanna put it right.
Potty in a dog.
Right,
You want it
on the
right
opposite side there.
No, you'd wanna put it right,
Right there?
because when they get
I
off
can't
that
miss
boat,
it.
they let that dog run over and they're not looking across the road to see that it's there. If it's right there by the walkway, then at least they see,
Yeah,
oh,
that's it.
there is a,
In theory, you can't.
In theory, yeah.
in there.
I get it.
Those
I was
that are
just
gonna
thinking
pick
about
it
the
up
smell
will figure
unit
out
right
how they're
there.
gonna pick it up anyway.
Doug,
Those,
There's that children's play area at Cooperation Park. Do we have a problem there? Do you-
no,
Do you get
no,
dogs?
dogs do not go, the people, it's very surprising about
Yeah.
the
They're
people.
considerate enough not to let their dog.
Right, dogs don't go into the playground.
Okay.
I just don't see them in there, I
I think
never
it's because
do.
of the kids.
Right.
Like, as a dog owner, I worry about
Right,
other
you-
kids running up to my
Right,
dog.
Yes.
and so people pretty much keep their, there, but
Well, like I
as
said,
far
dog
as,
walkers are there in the morning and,
Yeah.
you
as
know.
far as the dogs running in the field in the wintertime, I mean, y'all know that as soon as the dog craps into the snow, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Until spring.
Yeah. No, it's gone forever,
It breaks down.
it's just
Oh.
gone. Nobody ever has to worry about that again.
That's a, yeah,
I'm pushing my back.
it's on the ground underneath.
Right.
It might be waiting for you.
In the spring, yeah, I find, but it's never,
Not there, yeah, their dog didn't do that.
right, so.
Understandable. Okay. All right, so that's something we'll definitely have to look into. Next on the agenda would be Veterans Pier.
Well, it's, okay, so do you want somebody to bird dog this and try to get various types, or are we, I just want to.
No, I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
let's not let it go, is what I'm saying.
Sure, I guess does somebody want to look into it? Anybody willing and have the time right now to dig into that before next month?
Why are you looking at me?
I'm just looking at that general vicinity. I know your swamp, you still have baseball, I still have
Yeah,
baseball.
I'm not a dog owner, so I'm not really,
That's,
but
Did she give us a price on the one?
she
that-
did, gave us
$350.
prices on a couple different ones. The one's $224 here.
the one
The
with
bigger one that, with the picture, that's like $350.72 for the bigger receptacle.
Let's decide on which one we want, and let's get a couple of them, or three,
Or we could talk to people in Tappanabee and see,
where they got theirs.
well, we'll take a look at it.
Do you have an opinion on this, Doug?
Doesn't,
On a model of,
hey, none of
I'm
them
with you,
really
man.
matter to me. I would think, if you could just find a metal dispenser,
I like the
that,
bag.
yeah, just like
The
that,
bags.
Just like
It
what they got in
dispenses the
what's hanging
baggies
on the
out.
pole there.
with a sign that says,
Yeah.
we have garbage receptacles everywhere
Sure.
that they
Yeah.
can just throw it into. And
That way it's one less thing to empty.
yes, it makes, I don't
I
have
think
to
that-
tell them
So
not to
what you're,
forget
so
to.
what you're, just so I get it clear, you're just saying, just do the dispenser of the bags.
Correct.
And a
then a
sign.
sign on a pole.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's
And-
what the vet clinic has. They just have the dispenser. They don't have the garbage.
Oh, right down here?
I mean, in our garbage, regular, every
Yeah,
day, is
right.
little baggies from people because
Yeah.
they have them in their
They have
leash,
them,
they
yeah.
care, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and they throw them in the garbage, and that to me is the best.
So we're just trying to promote somebody that doesn't use them to use
Mhm.
them. So I think what he's saying about.
Or doesn't seem available in any,
Right.
yeah.
With the
Just
receptacle
See
and a
about getting
sign.
a cheap a dispenser that we
Well,
can,
well, they're all broken, right?
right, the
So we
plastic,
don't want a
Plastic
cheap one, we want
ones,
we want one that's gonna
something
be.
metal for, but I mean, cheaper
Yeah.
than 300 or
Oh, no, that's the
100.
pole, that's the,
Yeah.
that's the,
It's probably
yeah.
expensive because
So
of the
if we
garbage
could just,
container.
you wanna see what Heidi has down there and
Doggy
maybe,
do pet waste.
I'll take care of this.
okay.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Then if we need signs, we've got people that can produce signs.
Yeah, we,
April can put a sign up.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much. Okay, so Courtney's gonna look into this
Yay, Courtney.
Good job.
and update us as it goes.
It
Okay.
shouldn't take, I mean, there can't be like 100 different options out there.
oh,
I
there'd be
wouldn't think
thousands.
so.
Doug, you are so encouraging. I do not know what I would do without you.
So next on the list would be Veterans Pier, down at the beach. We've had numerous emails from several people, calls from several people about the bricks with their names being washed away from the sand and the water and everything else. Totally an erosion issue, but what do we have for backup on that, for funds for that? Isn't Veterans Pier have its own?
Yes, it has its own account.
There's $17,000 in a segregated account
Yep.
only for Veterans Pier.
Okay.
So we can
Okay,
use that
and
for the retaining wall.
that's gonna be, yeah, and just so you guys understand, I did try to get with you so we could have a special meeting on that, and we could maybe just do that.
Yes.
But it's not gonna get done before the second, or the first, or fourth, or whatever,
no,
so. The bottom line here is this, that segregated amount is there. The township board went ahead and made arrangements or contacted suppliers of material. I don't think they've contacted a mason or somebody to put that in yet.
No, I don't think he's put it out to bid yet. for
Okay,
a
so I
contract.
think we have
So
to,
looking for
to
rebuild the wall, correct?
No, no,
The whole
put-
wall.
put one
Add
in.
on, yeah.
Right,
okay,
Right,
so,
to add to
to
what's
add
there.
to the wall that's there,
Extend it,
to
correct.
take it down
further.
to the
There's already a
grass.
partial wall down.
yeah, but it doesn't,
Doesn't go,
it doesn't go
yes.
around that
Correct.
curve, and that's about, I walked it off about 3 times, it's about 110
Yeah.
feet. So that you wanna have around that curve to keep the wind from blowing the sand onto the area. So, my thought is this, what do we do? Should we just go ahead and incorporate what the township's already done, because they're kinda in betwixt and between, or do we wanna have them get those, we have to approve the bids.
I don't see any reason to stop the process, though.
Okay.
Correct.
I agree with you, okay, but we
Right.
don't have any info, we don't know, material, I mean, this is, what's our role and what's their role, I don't know.
Well, and that's a good question, because I don't exactly know either, because according, Parks or the township paid to have that done. Who quarterbacked Veterans Pier when it was
Oh,
done?
Mike.
That was a separate committee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Mike was the one that was trying, he talked to me about trying to get funding, how do we go about this, and we talked about getting the bricks in with the people's names on it.
Right,
Well, where do I advertise that? Well, you advertise it in the VFW magazine, and the AMVET
Right.
magazine, and the local newspaper, you gotta do that, but got in, it got in. Now, the question is how do we maintain it, and how do we keep it from eroding?
well, that's my biggest question that I have, is the bricks that need to be replaced, our responsibility, correct?
We got that money, that 17K.
That's-
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand, but
Yeah.
that 17K isn't gonna
Yeah,
go
that
that
should be-
far
that
for a
should be
brand
in
new
our-
wall and all the bricks.
Yeah, well, it should be a sub-account, part of our responsibility.
I totally understand, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
that 17K that's in there,
Yeah.
if we're gonna add 110 feet of wall,
Mhm.
pay somebody to put it in,
Right,
and then we
buy the
gotta,
material,
and then we have to replace all the bricks.
right. Not all of them.
What,
Not
the
all,
ones
but
that
the ones that
are
are
damaged,
most affected, yeah.
the worst of the
Some
bunch,
have already been done to the upgraded
Right.
brick.
okay?
Those are already done, they've been replaced out. It's all the rest of them that aren't of the new clay,
Style, yes.
harder brick, we need to get those replaced. But then you don't have to replace that whole big wedge. We'll just leave those weathered, worn
Right.
bricks until
Until somebody buys
someone
them.
purchases one with a name on it,
Correct.
and then we'll put it in.
So
Correct.
this
And
is,
we're not talking about, you know, the bricks cost, what, either $50 or $100?
But I'm making a donation to put
And-
that in, so.
I understand, but we're not, that's not what we'll pay.
No, no,
We'll pay a lesser amount to replace the ones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and resurface it or something, we're gonna put something on it to keep it
do
from
we have a
eroding.
count on how many need to be replaced?
I was just kinda looking at them, if it looks like 30, I'd be surprised.
Oh, no, there's many more.
Okay. well,
There's some of them down there that you don't even see.
Can't see 'em.
Yeah,
Okay.
they think are
They're
blank and it's
completely
supposed to have
gone.
something on it.
You're
Yeah.
you're
And-
criticizing my eyesight, Doug.
Some-
That's valid,
somewhere-
that's valid.
Somewhere there is a charcoal of the entire thing.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
Chris Olson went down there and charcoaled every brick
you're kidding.
to get, so that we got all of the names.
So we
and
knew
the-
what it was all supposed to be, so you
Yep.
had a record of everything.
I feel like
Wow.
there should be a master list somewhere anyway.
There should be a thank you note. 'cause
There should be a master purchase list or something somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
And
don't,
Mike will know about that when we
Yeah.
talk to Mike, because Mike's kind of been the champion, him and Mike Saker have
Yeah.
been doing
yeah,
that down there. So I can get with him and get a print of that, what we want to do. And as far as whether we purchase the brick from North Star or we turn it right over to the contractor and say, this is the brick we need,
And this is what we
this
want
is what
done.
it is, you get it, you find it.
Yes,
Because Todd's gonna special order it for us,
Yeah.
he does not carry that stuff, but he can get it.
right.
So
I
he
guess my
would be-
question is, so how's it get paid for?
Out of the Veterans
Well,
Pier Fund.
out of the Veterans Pier Fund.
Yeah, but are we gonna be able to get that money?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it so we just.
It's your
say
money.
No,
we
okay,
get it
so,
done.
That's
so,
what,
so I guess we should structure a motion here somehow, and then vote on that, and then figure out, I think that's where we should go with this. And I guess my thought is, okay, we should let bids, materials, is that sitting down there, has that already been paid for, do you know?
What's that?
The material?
No,
Okay, so.
no, he went and got a price on just
Okay.
the materials.
All right, and that's from
North
North
Star
Star.
Stone,
and how much is that?
It's like 25.
2,500
It's
Yeah.
2,500.
Right
just
in
in
there.
stone.
for the wall,
Right in there.
Okay,
without installation.
right,
Okay.
correct.
So,
Okay.
so, I guess the first thing is, should we approve
Purchase of the bricks.
the purchase of the material?
No, we don't want, well, that's the point that me and Doug are trying to say. Usually you're gonna hire a contractor, you're gonna tell them what you need, what you want.
Right.
Contractor's gonna go and buy the bricks, come here, install, do the job, it's end of story, done deal. We start buying the bricks and doing those things, and he might get better prices, there's certain ways of going about it, because if, like, North Star gets the job and they're buying the bricks from their own company,
Right.
we're gonna get a better price than if the township's just buying the bricks from the company. Does that make sense?
Okay, but do they do the installation themselves? Are they able to do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
North Star does not install brick.
North Star's not going to
Okay.
install.
They do
brick,
not. They
but
only
he
sell
will
the
special
product.
order the brick for us.
Okay,
He doesn't necessarily,
He's not, we're gonna get it at whatever it costs him to get.
correct.
all right,
We
so
can
let's,
also
let's,
ballpark,
let's first
yes.
do this, okay. I would move that we have the wall installed such a way to prevent the erosion that's occurring.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, right there. And
I would support that.
Okay, so you're I'm sorry, you're the secretary. Then we have vote.
I say aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay, so
Okay.
now we need to start,
Wait,
Now-
one question?
Not in
yes.
particular.
Do we care of the price?
Well, yes, no.
I mean, so I,
we would,
and I'm learning with you guys by
Yeah,
doing your
right.
motions.
me too.
Should you put something in there pending, don't exceed 100K or you know what I'm
No,
saying?
No.
Okay, so
Let's-
the most we could spend is the 17 that's in that
Okay, so
amount
you,
allocated. So we could amend our motion to say limited to the,
So hold on a minute.
go ahead.
You're saying we've only got the 17,000 that we need to pay for.
That's what's in the bid. I didn't say
That's
that we
what's-
can't go
That's-
to some other place,
that's-
but that's what's available.
We would have to move money from somewhere else
Yes.
in our budget to help pay for that if it goes over
If
that.
it goes over that amount. I don't think,
From what I'm understanding, shouldn't exceed
correct,
like 10,
correct.
you know.
Probably. I
And we're
mean,
gonna have to take multiple bids against each other, we won't just take one bid and award
Okay, I'm
everything
just
to just
trying to
one.
help.
No, you're fine, please, 'cause it's a process I'm learning too.
I'm just like, I don't want you guys to
Same here.
get stuck
All
for
of us.
100K.
Doug,
No.
earlier,
No.
Okay,
in an earlier meeting, you
Can I?
mentioned that possibly you could construct the wall with your crew? Remember that correctly?
I could, if it, but see, when I do it, that,
Takes him away
It's
from
a-
other
it's
guys.
it's other
I
things that aren't
understand
getting
that,
done, but, I mean, I do know how to build that wall. I
I'd
am
rather
gonna
have
call
some
around before
accountability if,
this goes
something
out
goes
to
wrong
bid
with
and
it.
talk to some of the guys that I used to work with and stuff about a footing. It was on a, crushed stone footing.
Okay.
My question to them is going to be, being that we're right next to the water, right, is the crushed stone what you wanna do, or do we wanna put in a concrete footing? So that that wall doesn't do like it's been doing for, I mean, in all reality, that wall is,
Plus you need drainage, that's,
Yeah.
you gotta be weighing that stuff
yeah,
out.
there's people that will know that, so
Yeah.
you can tell me what the best way is.
And
But
that's why-
at some point in time, that wall is gonna topple.
Yeah, no, the whole
The whole
wall that's
wall.
there, and
It's
that's,
getting washed out from underneath.
you had something you wanted to add.
So I'm thinking your motion, right, should be that you want to go out and get costs.
Yes.
figure out what
We
you
need
wanna
to take
do
bids.
and get costs.
Yes.
All right, well, just first I want, are we gonna build the wall, then how are we gonna do it?
Right.
Discussion follows, then if there's another motion to accept bids or let out bids, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Totally understandable, and right now I know that we've already got the township helping out and looking at acquiring bids from different companies.
Yeah.
We do have that help coming from the other side, which is
Probably need to get on
fantastic.
we probably need to get on the same page with them and find out what they've already done.
We do, for sure. At the same time, and that was my question with what Doug was just talking about. If we're going to add to this wall, and the other wall is gonna fall apart in another 10 years, or less, or whatever, I don't know exactly how long we think it's going to last. The real thought process in my eyes is we need to be looking at a whole new wall. So,
We
No.
replace, not really. That wall won't be garbage.
right,
It's gonna, because of the way that the erosion's happening under the footing, and I've went in and done some concrete work to shore some of it up, and you can take it apart and reset it.
okay.
So you don't need like all the bricks.
Right.
But it's gonna be labor intensive to take that down, dig it out, put a new footing, reset it.
Okay.
But we can do it sections. We can
Yes.
do whatever sections.
Yeah,
are.
you could
Do it.
each year do
Piecemeal.
a little bit more. And the other thing is I was down there working on it this morning. We gotta start adding to the beach, sand. And you can only add X number of yards per year. By DEQ will only let you put 50 to 100 yard, I don't know what the number is, but X number of yards per year.
Yeah,
And
frontage.
so at that point, that would be something where we would get like Bridgewater, somebody to come in and dump beach sand and spread it out with a machine each year. And because that sand just keeps blowing and washing, and
We're losing beach frontage, we're losing beach.
it's not nice white sand anymore. It's starting to be dirty sand, and we got rocks in it. And it's just because the sand's
Blowing off and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
going to Detroit in the back of everybody's car.
I was
with the
gonna say, it's
kids'
going in my
toys.
car is where
Yeah,
it's going.
yeah, it just goes. I mean,
Clearly, it's going to the bricks.
Well, that's
and down there
it.
too, it's blowing across there. I mean, so.
So we should have enough with the 17,000 that we're talking about in that account to
Right.
take care of everything that we need to do to get Veterans Pier fixed.
Right.
So we need to, I'll make a motion that we need to start collecting bids for the structure and construction.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody like to spearhead that side of this and talk to Bob and kind of get on the same page?
It's usually Doug's.
I can work
Doug's,
with Bob on that,
It's usually
because I'm gonna come up with the, how I wanna see it,
Yep.
the type of footing I want it on, and
Great.
then he can go from there.
Now, anything else that we can think of about that? It kind of seems like, I know it has to be done. Has anybody talked to any of the people that called? Other than,
I think Bob did,
okay,
but his emails are sketchy. He gives us, he sends us a forward, but, and it seems like each time he's done something, but he doesn't let us know what that is.
it seems
So-
like he has talked to them, but the communication back and forth needs to be better, and it's probably partially on my end
It,
as well, so.
you didn't, I mean, for bringing everybody up to speed too, Mike and I have been down there with Todd from North Star Stone. We went down there with Todd, myself, and a Unilock rep,
Okay.
the brick rep. I mean, and
Went over what's going on.
what's going on, and everybody was shocked that it's just getting sand blasted
Yeah.
off of there. I mean,
Yeah.
between
Who would have ever
the
thought?
sand going over it and the foot traffic walking on it, it's just sanding it off, so.
Crazy.
Now, there's no, the new bricks that we put in, do they have a coating on it to stop or help?
Yes, they are sealed, and they're made with a harder clay
Okay.
surface, and I mean, I don't, you go down and look at the ones out there, the lettering is in quite a bit deeper on them, and
Okay.
they're quite a bit more money for the brick.
Right,
But-
sure, but they're gonna last a
But they
lot longer
last.
than what we
Right,
do.
well, but there's no guarantee that they're gonna last either. I
Okay,
mean,
so question, just procedurally,
uh-huh,
I have a relative that passes, I want to buy a brick, veteran. How does that work?
I can speak to that, I just did it.
Okay.
As of right now, they'll take your money, but they'll send you a letter and a receipt that says, as soon as we get this issue resolved, your brick will be ordered.
Okay, so what does it cost?
$100 for a large one, and
Okay.
$50 for a small, for a regular
Okay,
brick, yeah.
yeah, all right.
And they give you, there's a form in the office, it's got a, you get a certain amount of letters per line, and you can put whatever you want on there,
Okay,
turn it back into them.
it doesn't have to be for a veteran. You could get one that says, thanks, the Ryder
Thanks, Doc,
family,
for all-
thanks
thank you,
for
Doc,
all of
for
your
all you
service.
do.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, thank you for your service from the Ryder family, or something like
Oh,
that.
right, 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 right.
I
Doug
mean,
Schofield was.
there's plenty of those from this family and that family, and, you know.
More
I'll-
generalized.
Okay.
Can I ask another question?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You said that they're gonna put something on it to make them last longer. The ones that are good now, can they put anything on them now to help them last a little bit longer?
The ones that aren't as corroded,
Right.
okay, I think what they're saying is those are the ones that have been replaced.
Right,
already.
the newly replaced ones
So
come, they're already
the
a
new
sealed.
style
Oh, so the
brick.
ones that, there's, I
Right.
mean, I
There are
don't know
some
how
that
many's
need to
down
be
there, but.
Basically, the ones that have already been affected that are to the point, all of the bricks need to be replaced.
Okay.
Is the way I understand it.
Yeah.
Anything that has a name on it has to go to the new style brick. So every brick that had a name on it at one point in time has to be switched over to the new style of brick. Will have to be purchased and replaced.
Okay.
And there's like a dozen. of
Once
them
we
in
get the
stock.
wall constructed and we can slow down the erosion process, that'll start happening.
I'll
So
be
there's
quiet.
nothing,
No, you're fine, please,
so there's nothing that you can put on there, like I had a stamped concrete patio,
Yeah.
and we used to seal it every year, we put sealer on it. Is there some sort of sealer that you could put on them to
Every year.
protect every year or every other year to protect them, to help?
It will help, but not with the issue that we have with the sand.
Okay.
I mean, that'll help from water and sunlight and that kind of stuff, but the sand just goes up on there and people are walking on
Yeah.
it, so it just
It
like
literally
scrubs it
is
right.
Sandpaper.
It's sandblasting
Yeah,
and it's fine.
Sandpaper.
And especially in the amount of time that it's
Okay.
been.
The,
You backyard and you're not gonna have that much
No.
foot traffic.
the Unilock rep said, you put my brick in the worst place you could possibly put it. It's just like when I was talking to the concrete guy about the rink, he says, you're gonna put water on it, freeze it?
Yeah.
That's not what you do to concrete.
Understandable. So, moving on. Are we good? Everybody good to move on?
Yep, let's do it.
Next would be Cooperation Park. Just kind of a list of things that have been going on there.
Just a list.
Just a little bit of a list. So we had some complaints from the Battle of the Bats tournament as far as the fencing, the temporary fencing that we had that was put up got mauled over, taken down, ran through, however you'd like to put it, people chasing down foul balls into some backyards and things like that. Which the fence that has to go up, we have in the budget for this year. And it was part of the grant as well, in case we get the grant, so that would also be covered. If it's in the budget, do we have any idea when we might be able to get it done?
Just gotta tell Jimmy to go, I
Okay.
think, and then he'll fit it in, but we could, no reason why we couldn't have it done yet this summer.
This summer? Right. Okay.
And as of now, the pressure on that
Backed
is
off a
off,
little bit.
because baseball's pretty much over.
Yes,
So she's not getting that, and
except for there's another tournament coming up, correct?
I thought he,
He's
Can't
using
so
3
that-
and 4.
huh?
He's using fields 3 and 4, not the littler fields.
Correct, because
Okay.
we have, it's all-stars.
So, I don't think.
Yeah, I
this is
thought
an
he was,
issue there.
I
He has
haven't
not
heard-
approached me about another tournament.
I haven't heard any differently, and that last time I talked to him was probably a couple days before Battle of the Bats.
This guy, I think,
Yes, and he has not contacted me with another date or anything, so
Okay.
there was supposed to be one, and I heard he canceled it because he couldn't get the teams.
Oh, okay.
Was what I
It's
had heard.
July 15th and 16th.
That's what I heard too.
Okay, well,
Anyways, any other, I mean, I know Little League had a few issues with.
as far as Battle of the Bats, yes.
What else you got?
We did talk to him about his, got to put porta johns in the park.
Yeah?
There was no porta johns in the park.
Ooh,
And
Oh, God, it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was rough.
those are a requirement and it didn't get fulfilled.
And on me, because I didn't think about it, but going forward, any of these are gonna have to provide their own dumpster too.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
We got buried, and fortunately,
Doug got his way out of that.
you get to know your service guys, and
Yeah.
the dumpster guy first said, "Oh, I don't have enough for all that," and still be able to, and he packed his thing, and we filled the dumpster again, and he dumped it again and left it. So, we got a free dumpster dump out of the guy, but.
Alright,
Then
So we'll need to know to build that into the costs next year.
Yes, he will need to provide a dumpster.
for the
Oh,
future,
okay,
yes,
okay.
any,
So we're not even gonna take care of it, we're gonna ask them to do it.
Right,
Correct.
yeah, yeah, we don't do that, this would
Got it,
be
got
like
it.
for the boat races, they get a dumpster.
Okay.
And anybody that comes in, not just Scott, if you're gonna do a ball tournament out there, you're gonna get,
that, yeah.
we need porta johns, we need dumpster, and we need to revisit what we're making on
Well,
these
and-
ball tournaments.
That's, yes.
we're getting there.
Anything else you got?
Yes, I just had it and it,
Scott using all
Oh.
his own stuff?
Oh, well.
the vendors, or the food trucks,
Yes.
that's gonna have to be taken care of, maybe written into the contract somewhere.
See, and I was unaware of that too.
And I was, apparently, that rule has only been in place for 18 months, so it is a brand new rule. So we just need to make sure that we,
21.
Yeah, let me pick your brain on this, Don. Apparently, whenever, in the food truck ordinance,
Yep.
regardless of whether I rent out the beach or rent out the park, the food truck still has to pay the township $50 to be there.
per day.
Okay.
Per day.
Or it's at
Per day.
$300 for the year.
For the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does that $300 for the year cover every location?
Yes,
Yeah.
anywhere in Tuscarora Township.
Okay.
But I thought that once we rented them out the facility, then they could put what they wanted in there.
Well,
I
and
didn't
that's-
realize that we still got a
That's, yeah.
rental
Well,
fee.
but there's a
is there a
reason.
form that you have to
Yes.
fill out?
It's on the,
That should like be on the form. Are you
No,
paying
we're gonna have
$50?
Oh, for our rental forms?
Yeah.
Our rental forms need a lot of work.
We need
I
a
have
lot.
them right here and they need to be updated severely, so.
There's a reason for the application and the fee, and it's because we want to make sure that these guys, a lot of these food trucks that come into town, they didn't necessarily have their health department
Right,
licenses or
yes.
whatever, so that was part of the reason for the ordinance, is to make sure that we're not poisoning
I
the
don't
town.
think it's it's not a big deal. I just didn't know it, so I never told them that they were
Well,
gonna have
yeah,
to
and
do
like I
that.
said,
Well, that's
it's-
part of it, we didn't know much about what his plan was.
Right.
So this is what I think. I think next year he needs to submit a plan to us, the meeting prior to the Battle of the Bats, so that we can review it and we know exactly what his plans are and we can tell him yes or no.
And can improve certain things.
Correct, because the camping, that's not gonna happen.
They were camping up
Oh,
there?
he was camping up there, yep.
You camped right there.
He camped at the property and then there was another camper on the Masonic property.
Yep.
Oh, the Masons?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know probably.
Probably
They
not.
probably didn't know.
Well, Doug, you said
They
that he
had,
had permission
they
to
had
be
given
there.
him permission to use that back field for parking,
But not for camping.
but not for camping. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was camping because I've had other referees and stuff that, can I put my camper on it? No, there's absolutely no camping on township property.
Correct.
I can't make an exception for you and then tell some family that they can't just
Correct.
camp up there.
And then I also feel like the concession stand, like, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I'm kind of, you know, it's a lot of work for us, because you gotta go in there and you gotta take inventory of what you have to make sure that our stuff isn't being used, which I'm not saying that he's not, but, you know, we have to go in there, and then Sean's back there Monday morning trying to organize stuff, and his stuff is still in our concession stand waiting to be cleaned out. It's just a lot of extra work. And then when I open up my shed doors and they're trashed, or
None of our rakes are where they're supposed to be.
Right.
None of our chalkers are where they used to be. None of our stuff is anywhere where it used to be before the weekend started.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he came into the park and used anything
Wait.
and everything as
Yeah.
his own. And I think if that's kind of the way the contract puts it, that's why we need to fix
well,
something.
and then also this says that the deposit is due, or your money's not due until the day before it. I think that needs to be rewritten to, your money is due 3
2
months
weeks,
prior.
a month, whatever, yeah, something, yeah.
When you turn your you can put your security deposit down when you turn in your application, but then your full payment is due when you submit your plan.
Okay, so I guess,
Upon plan.
let's look at
Yeah.
this. Courtney, you're kind of pointing on this, right? I mean, you kind of know what's going on, what's not going on. I would move that we review and revise the rental agreement, and that you and I be appointed to implement that.
Yeah, and I can
And
send
then
out.
you just email that to me. and I
Yeah,
can-
I'll email this to everybody so you guys can take a look at it. And
What I'm
see.
saying is I think you need to tell me what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And I wanna make sure we got teeth in it, okay? That's all that's all.
Right,
No.
and I'm not saying that, yes, him bringing the travel balls is a good
It's a
thing.
good thing.
It's a good thing. Our
Mhm.
community,
Oh, yeah.
it's good for our
How many
community.
hot dogs did they,
Right,
how many hamburgers?
but,
did they sold?
and as
Come on, I'm waiting.
as we
We-
move forward, we're gonna get smarter on how we attack this.
Well,
Okay.
I'd
okay.
be broke record and say it again, activity director.
No, and that's officially, we need to push for it.
I
We
agree.
need one. It needs to be a topic of discussion, an added position, a paid position for parks or the township, one or the other. I don't know exactly where or how. But,
That
so
could
let's
be-
just
could be in
discuss
addition
that
to
it
us,
is
I mean, like you say, yeah.
$550 per team at 12U and under. Any team 13U and above was $650 per team. There was 30 teams there. At $16,500 at just $550 a team
2 days.
in 2 days. That doesn't count concessions, it doesn't count the t-shirt and vending sales,
Yep.
doesn't count the kickbacks he got back from the food trucks. We're talking $20,000 in a weekend that we got $3,000 of. Easily 20 grand, and that's being light. If
So-
we had an activities director, basically I know that June, start of July, this is when baseball ends for Little League. And now there's nobody on any of the fields for the next 2 months. My kid plays in a travel baseball tournament every weekend. I haven't had a weekend off since they lost high school. So the 8th of June, I'm on my 4th tournament this weekend. It starts Thursday, 4 days. I talked to teams in West Branch last weekend that played here. Loved it. Wish there was more tournaments in town. We loved the area. We rented a house on the lake. We had everybody come in. Other
here's-
parents went camping. They
Even-
stayed at the state park. They
Is there a
filled
way
up
for us
Lola.
to set up those travel ball tournaments without Scott being?
Correct. We need an
Yeah.
activities director.
Yeah.
who
So
promotes
he's just got
Activities
one group.
director
So we just
organizes.
go to.
He's just got one group.
Right, so we just
Right.
go to the Travel Ball Association and say, hey, we have this field, here's what we have.
And they're gonna say, great, put together a tournament and get back to us and we'll
Yes.
help you.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
okay,
We
so
don't
you
want
have to
We don't wanna do
reach,
that.
So now, like,
okay, so you have to
Scott-
reach out to those teams and
You,
put all.
you gotta put,
okay.
you have to advertise your tournament in different Turning Machine is one app, Exposure is another app, Legacy runs another set of travel ball tournaments.
And are those tournaments usually, like, those teams are already picking up those tournaments by what month of the year?
Oh, they're probably looking at it now for next
We're,
year.
we're picking up our tournaments in like December,
Okay.
Yeah.
January, March,
So
April.
by like December, you need to have your dates figured out
I
so
think
that you
even
can
before
start.
that even.
Booking teams for your next year,
And then,
yes.
once you, travel ball is only the tip of the iceberg too.
Correct.
You could do, we could have leagues
Yes.
up there.
Could do
Evening
Tuesdays
leagues,
and
co-ed leagues,
Wednesdays.
softball leagues, you're up there, you're playing that. We could have a pickleball clinic or a
Tournament,
camp.
or you
So
can
I
have
did talk to
a
Bob.
league for pickleball.
I
Right.
did talk to Bob about these people that find grants for us. And I had specifically asked him if they could help us find a grant to give a salary paid position for an activities director. And I will follow up with that conversation with him, because I feel like if we could get a grant,
I feel like we can make enough money to pay them through parks.
well, and I don't disagree with you, but we have to prove that to the township first.
I understand.
To start out, you're not going to. It's,
I know.
it's gonna cost, but eventually that person will bring more
More
money
money.
in than
And
they're
then they can prove
taking
their
out.
worth.
Yeah, you're
Right.
talking about a couple of years,
Yeah.
actually.
If I could
you
get,
know.
if we could get a 3-year
It's
grant
like, oh,
for an activities director, and then show their worth, and then if we can't get that grant renewed, then maybe the township will say, oh my gosh, look at what this potential is.
And we don't necessarily need a home team for any of it.
Okay.
It's like, that's just it. We went to, the last tournament that we played in down in West Branch was just put on by the West Branch Recreational Parks Division. And they put the tournament on, they had hired just, it'd be like us putting one on.
Right.
They had 4 or 5 guys there that were there both days doing work on the field, so every time in between the fields, they were chalking lines, wetting down the field, raking it out. Don't know what those guys got paid, but I'm assuming $100 a day, $150 a day,
Oh,
maybe.
we don't know, we might
Right.
have a shirt that says volunteer.
That does not work out very well, I'm gonna
doesn't.
tell you that right now.
A green
I can
shirt-
get a lot of
green
things,
shirt that says
a
volunteer.
lot of things done with volunteers, but you always run into a brick wall eventually.
Yep.
Well, and the money that you bring in on a weekend, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have a problem paying for,
No,
No.
and
you
that's
know,
just it.
you
You're
got
gonna-
your cost, you got your
Well, it's
field
not
maintenance
just that,
cost,
but
you got.
you're charging what, everybody to come watch the games.
You can't,
Every-
according to this, you can't charge to get into the field.
Oh, I understand, that's a rental agreement, right?
Yeah.
They can't charge you,
They can't charge.
They can't.
we can.
We can.
Oh, because
We own the property.
I see.
We own the property, we're not,
We're
somebody.
not
who rents
renting
it.
anymore.
So like, and
Uh-huh,
that was the
uh-huh.
other thing, like, people paid for VIP parking.
They did.
Right, but that was off property, so.
That was
Well,
the
you
other
get
side
my
of that-
point.
That's the other
Yeah,
side of that fence
I mean-
that
Yeah.
broke down, yeah.
Travel ball,
But soon,
baseball.
hopefully that's ours, and
We
then it
need
will be
some
fine.
way to start generating more money, and that park is a great way to generate more money.
I 100% agree with you.
We really could, it could pay for the upgrades that we've been trying to get grants to do.
Well, and I mean, if we get the grant to
I-
update the stuff around the park, it'll be,
It'll be even
it's
that
gonna
much
be
nicer.
so
I know.
beautiful next year.
I got you. Okay.
Then maybe we won't have to collect other money from other
So,
sources.
did you make a motion on the rental agreements?
Did, that she and I would review it and
I'll
come,
second.
and we would, yeah, committee.
Yep, absolutely.
And we'll present it to you guys at the next meeting or, you know, whatever,
Yep.
when we think about it in Christmas time.
Look at our rates across the board too and see what you
We're
think of
way,
those.
Well-
we're way down.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Okay, so
that's
when you,
different.
no, wait a second, you've had experience at West Branch, I don't know what they charge you guys to go down there and play.
Every tournament that we've been in so far, and West Branch was the cheapest one we've been in so far.
Okay.
Most of ours are college prep and legacy tournaments, it's $1,200 to enter.
See, there's, you know, are we cutting our nose off here? No, let's get something
Well,
that
it's at least needs
worth
to be
value, but
half.
then, but with-
half a
if we
team.
charge value, we have to provide value as well. So, yeah,
Our bathrooms would have to be up to date, we'd have
Right.
to get our concession
But
stands.
the bathrooms will be up to date next year,
Right,
no
I
matter
know.
what, so.
well, yeah, we'll
Concession
rent them,
stands.
Chance.
Well, we'll need more concession stand, we'll have to get a better concession stand thing going on somewhere back by 4, the hockey rink, or 6, somewhere in that area, 5 and 6.
Well, but if we pull it, like, I don't have a problem with the food trucks. The food trucks were absolutely wonderful. I have nothing against them. I want them here next year because it makes your
Right.
concession stand life 100% easier.
Which is a different, to me, that's a different contract. should we be the ones that are
No, I think-
interfacing with the food truck people?
I
Or do
think-
we let that,
No, I think
If
if
you're having
somebody's
somebody else
renting,
organize your
Yeah.
tournament, you stay right out of it.
yeah,
Okay.
That's
it just needs to be put in the contract that if you're gonna have food trucks there, you need to go through the township.
if we're doing an event coordinator, are we doing our own, that's, are we
Oh,
looking
that's
at
a
that
bridge
kind
to
of
be
thing?
crossed.
Okay,
And that's part of revising them. We did not make a motion to revise. I don't even know if we need a motion for that, do we?
not yet.
Don't think
I
so.
think what you want is you want to produce a product and then have
Okay.
everybody take a look at it, have input on it.
And go from there.
Yeah,
We
then
just
we'll have the
agreed
motion.
to revise it.
Yep, then we'll have the
That's
motion
another
and then we'll
meeting.
discuss it, yeah.
Just make sure you pick, our rates for not just co-op part, but everything
Yeah,
down
I
the thing
see.
Oh,
are
yeah.
pretty,
It's-
We are way,
Low.
So,
Yeah.
Pretty
the
light.
baseball tournament per field, it says per field day is $150.
Okay.
per field per day.
Yeah, plus $50 for
and
an
then
additional
Scott
day.
came and made the deal with us that he would give us $100 per tournament
team.
in it.
Okay, so that's.
And we agreed to it.
Okay.
So
That
that
was
gives us
$5,000, right?
$3,000.
Yeah.
3,000.
3,000.
30 teams, so we
Oh, I
got
thought, I heard
3,000.
the number 50.
But we haven't seen that money, and we need to lean on him again,
That's
because
my question is, have not been paid for that.
So here's my thing is that when he submits his plan to us at the meeting prior, that's when his payment needs to be handed to us as well.
Or upon approval, plan approval, but he can't
That's-
host a tournament without paying upfront.
No,
Right.
Because
absolutely.
every one of
Well,
those
if you-
teams
you
is
know.
submitting their money months
Prior
in
to, okay,
advance.
all right.
he's got the money, he
I'm
just.
not against the upfront payment. Is there some concern that he won't pay?
Did we get paid from last year?
We're not positive on
We
that.
can't find the money that he was supposed to pay
We're
us
not
last year.
sure.
But it's like constant, it's hackling him.
It's constant
Why
heckle
do
to
you
get
not know if you got
anything
paid
out
last
to
year?
any promises. It's always,
You know
there's
how much it
something,
supposed to be?
there's something coming
I-
up,
I
or
was
something
sure.
has to be done.
Like
or
$1,000, I
he
think,
borrowed
is what he
this
owed
and
us
didn't
for the
think
one
it was
last
gonna be an
year.
issue.
But we just, when we
That's
went
all the
through
hard
it,
mounds
we
and
didn't find
everything
it.
from Little League.
That whole, where our
Yeah, I went down.
rental
I
monies
went down
was
there,
going
we
Yeah,
had
man.
one.
We had
was
Little League
confusing
So I have
that
a
one.
question.
What?
We didn't know where the rental
Okay,
ended
so
up.
he rents this thing.
You know, as all these rentals are coming, we don't know.
We have nothing.
But,
Well,
I don't know
that's-
where the
so
application
somebody
is.
should be
Okay,
able to go
that's-
into
It should be in the, it should be
It should
in
be
the clerk's
filed.
office.
type in
Clerk's
$1,000.
office, so-
Okay,
It's something we have to,
but,
It'll bring
but
up all the
did we
receipts.
just simply approve this use?
Okay.
And they should
Yeah,
be able
he's
to
going
click on
fine.
each one of those
You
receipts.
know, and now we got nothing in writing.
he didn't
No,
sign
it
it.
said what-
That's the question.
That's my issue.
I understand completely
I'll
where you're
ask
coming
him
from.
about
Okay.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's
look
some
at
of
that.
those things
Yeah, I
that we
know.
used to
I'll
have.
I'm
ask.
just,
A verbal agreement.
wow.
That's all I can
Verbal
do.
one that's
If we
last
know
year
for
we held
sure
the
it's
tournament too.
$1,000.
It was
There's
$1,000.
supposed
So
to
there's
be
a
paid,
check
but
that
we
was received
haven't
into
found
that
money
system
yet.
for $1,000.
Keeps saying that he sent it.
And when it's received
So
in,
show us the canceled check.
Show us the check.
And Bobby,
Stuff.
No, yeah, where the canceled check,
Right.
It shows
and
the-
she usually
yeah.
puts a
that
note
you
on
paid,
there
that's all
where
you,
it came
but
from.
if you haven't, if you don't got one.
Oh, I know, but there's
See,
been
Get one.
here it
numerous
has
things
event
that Bobby has
authorization
found
from
for me
event
that
tonight, so-
before she was gone that
Has to be.
Um,
Jay
didn't
couldn't
get-
find.
Okay, so are we done with
Well,
this?
yeah.
I think we're done, we're
Okay.
on to tennis
But it wouldn't
courts
be
now.
Jay.
Did
it
we
should be
figure out
Jan.
field 6 fence?
She's the receiving.
Okay,
We've got a state of execution.
Well, we were-
we haven't got.
Oh, I'm
there yet.
sorry, I'm sorry,
Come on,
We're,
I'm sorry.
we're
She's
working on
money
the
in.
list. Here.
I know,
Okay, so-
did you see my email to him? We'll be done next week.
You made the list. We're working down the list.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so listen, Bob called me yesterday and
Are we on the tennis courts?
tennis courts and pickleball courts, yep.
Yes.
Bob called me yesterday and I guess there was a guy down there playing yesterday that does nets or professional whatever. And he had originally suggested that one of the courts be tennis courts and one of the courts be pickleball courts, cause the nets are different.
That's what I
So,
was,
we
well, they are
need-
different. One is 1 inch lower than the other.
Okay,
Okay.
so.
Okay,
That's
no,
a big
no, if you
difference.
play enough tennis or if you play
That's
enough
a big difference.
pickleball,
It matters.
1 inch makes a big deal.
Okay.
It really does. I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not.
I
trying-
didn't know if we had to
So-
purchase new nets or something for them.
No, but there's gotta be a mechanism out there. I mean, there's gotta be something that allows them to lower that 1 inch or bring it up 1 inch. And there's something out there that would handle that. I was gonna try to look it up, but I got tied up in
So there's
Chicago.
still 3 courts in there, right?
Right.
And mainly is what being played?
Pickleball right now, I guess.
That's pretty much all.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I wrote.
There's some
I saw
people
one
go up
guy
there-
Practicing his
Beat
serve.
tennis balls back
I
and
got
forth.
one tennis guy.
Yeah.
I got one
Well, yeah,
tennis guy.
but
So,
That guy's been
95.
So
practicing
my
to
point
serve
is,
alone for
we
the
could
last
do-
3 years and never had a partner, so.
We could do the pickleball height on 2 courts and leave the tennis at 1 on 1 court?
See,
Well,
therein is the problem. The problem
Right.
is that every Monday, all 3 courts are filled with pickleball.
Okay. All right.
So if anything, I would say you'd make, and which I did, I made them all as close to pickleball height as I could.
Okay.
But in order to achieve pickleball height, I have to pretty much redo those posts.
Yes, I bet.
Because that
Crank
crank,
system.
that cranks them up tight is set for
At a height.
tennis height.
Can
So when
we,
you pull it tight,
it's an inch,
I-
so can
I
we add a
think
wheel
Greg's onto
underneath?
Something here. Yeah, this has gotta be addressed before at some point. There's gotta be a device that can be added or,
oh, somebody else has run into this problem, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna call this, that Brian Powell
Yeah.
tomorrow and talk to him about
Okay.
his suggestions, but you remember, Bo, he has built it and they will come.
Yes,
And as soon as you said, who will pay for it,
they will.
he was ready to go.
Okay, so tennis courts sometimes have a fixture underneath the middle, and you got a strap, okay? You just pull it down to make it work. I'm guessing with a pickleball court, that 1 inch means a heck of a lot to people that play it a lot. And I don't know if we just have 2 tie downs on the end, get it to where it wants, and then, you know, that's it. And you got the same tension, you got the same
Right.
crank. You
Well,
just-
see, but
where
the
are you
problem
gonna-
is
where-
you're
yeah, where are
pulling
you
a
gonna-
cable across.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's level, so now,
Yeah, I know.
the height
It's
of
not,
my
it's not gonna
crank,
be a perfect, it's not gonna be perfect.
one end of the net is
I
higher
get
than the
it.
other.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
the posts are different.
No, when you crank it up, that is a fixed point.
Yeah, I know.
Where that
Right.
is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take those off and move them physically down
Well,
to
the
36
question
inches.
becomes, is there something that could be placed on the post that would allow you to adjust that? For pickleball or for tennis, nothing?
Not unless, without
That's
taking
my,
it,
that's the other solution.
well, you'd have to take that, your crank,
Yeah, I know.
to tighten it up. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to
been there.
lower that down to pickleball height or raise it to tennis height, because
Yeah.
that's what pulls it rigid
Yep.
to that height.
Yep,
At one end. So
Yes.
like it is now, it's 1 inch or whatever that is, higher than the 36 at the other. You can
Right.
see each net sits.
so,
No, and I totally get your point. I get his point too, is
you know.
maybe we can figure out a way or look into it to see if there's something that we could attach to the
Yeah,
crank.
just look at.
Whether it's not, if it's just another, you know what I'm saying, if it's just a 1 inch
Yep.
grapple round hook that attaches, so the round is bigger that it pulls against, that drops it down a little more. I think that's what he's saying, is it
No,
might
actually,
be.
that's one option. The other option is you've got 2 little cleats at the bottom, with the width of the pickleball
Right.
court, and you just put the strap there and it goes even across.
I-
That's not that difficult.
But
That's what they used to do, is the
concrete-
one,
The
yeah, I know.
concrete anchors,
You wanna put that in concrete.
we're not
or-
putting a
or-
new anchor in our brand new.
Yep, I wouldn't do it
surface.
either. I'm thinking you got a
Yeah.
surface that's impermeable and it's like, dang, do you wanna do that?
No,
So,
we'll
you
figure
know.
out a way to make, I think there's gotta be a way that I can.
And I'm sure they've never done this before anywhere in the country.
Somewhere.
Oh, I know they have.
But it's the.
That's what I'm saying, there's a way to do this.
And,
And we'll look at it and go, how come we didn't think of that?
right, you now are having an unfunded league, basically
Playing.
gets you to do something to make their league better, unfunded.
Right,
They don't wanna pay a dime
To play
for
that.
any of this.
right.
And I about went over there and just went ballistic on them when 10 minutes after they walked onto the brand new $45,000 court, my phone was blowing up that the nets weren't the right height.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you know what? We tried
Who
3
was blowing up, I
years.
wanna know who's blowing up
The
here.
pickleball.
No, no, who in particular is doing it?
Well, it came from
Because I've
Jennifer,
talked-
so
I've
I knew
talked
it
about-
was Carol
No, no.
Friesmouth that
Well,
was the one.
Okay, so I've talked about 4 of them, and they're pickleball players, and they don't care.
Right, but there's, I'm out mowing my phone,
Yeah,
the net, and I'm like, really? You just got what you've been begging for 3 years.
yeah.
Finally happened, and the first thing you did was went out with a
About
tape
that.
measure and went, no,
Yeah, I get that.
So,
And
yeah,
and then also.
but what I'm saying is, they're up there every Monday.
Yep.
There is a huge, and it is an organized.
Basically, an organized league that uses that facility every money who does not pay to use it. And
Correct.
Little League has to pay to use it, the park.
When
We
you have a
charge others
specific
to
set
use.
time that you're
Well,
doing
okay,
something,
so if we had an event organizer,
that would be correct.
and that's a panacea, that's not gonna be the solution. The solution would be, if you wanna play in this league, it's $5 or something.
Right. Well,
Just something.
they're
You
gonna
know?
use it for free because they say we don't have a league, but I'm just saying that these people that
You know,
are,
they
this
probably just
Brian
pick up.
Pollock that's doing all this, he goes around and his job, he's retired, he promotes
Yes.
pickleball. Promotes it, and he comes to us, like, he gave us a
Yeah,
2-hour
yeah.
presentation that we should put him in the rink, we should change around the configuration of the tennis court, we had all these things that we could do. Because if you do all this, the
People will
people
come
from
and play.
Petoskey are gonna come over here, the people from Gaylord are gonna come here because they want places to play.
Yeah.
Well, who's paying for it?
That's just it. Nobody.
Tuscarora Township.
That's right.
We're paying the freight for them to
The
go. It's
taxpayers,
just like
right.
during COVID, when we were the only one with the ice rink open, with the outdoor rink, we were the only one around. I had
Everybody
teams
came
from
here.
Petoskey coming to practice
Right.
because we had,
A rink.
but they didn't want to pay anything.
They don't wanna put any
just
ice
want to
time?
use our
They
facility.
don't have to put down money for ice.
Oh, it's a public rink.
Yeah, but there's not
We've got some,
public and public.
So we got some things to figure out on how we want to control all of these different, and it always, to me, comes back to the activity director. I could have people paying $5 to skate.
Yeah.
So just because I talk to Carol Freesmith on a regular basis, and I know that she does not belong to a league.
Right.
There's a
but
group
they-
of them that come out here to use it.
Correct.
They don't charge,
That's,
nobody's
that's
paying,
our,
yeah.
that's our point is we just put in this great court for
Yeah.
people to use.
But they live here, so.
Understandable, but we also need to figure out how to generate money from it
Yeah.
as well.
yeah. If you had
If-
leagues,
if-
if somebody had leagues,
Yeah,
these
if-
guys are
correct.
not,
No,
they don't
Right,
we're
really
not
come
saying
in.
it's an organized league that they're
Yeah.
doing, we're just saying it's
Is
basically
that the one that
a
said
league.
it was a private league?
It's not private,
It's-
they
but
just.
it's a
they-
group that-
It's just their
But
friends.
she
they
wouldn't let
play.
nobody else come,
No.
so.
Right,
Yeah,
it's a
they-
group,
Right.
and
If
they have
anybody
a
else
set
shows up,
time,
they can't
and
play,
only
then
this many people
then
can
it's
come,
private.
this is
No,
ours.
then it's private, and no, they
That's not how
start
that
paying
works.
money.
Yeah,
No,
that's
she
Because
put
not,
they're,
right on
if
the
they're using it
Facebook.
like it's their private rental,
It's-
then that's
She
not.
put on there, it's a
Yeah.
private league.
Right.
well,
See,
it's
Well,
not,
so
it's
they
I'm
call
not
it
a
game.
league.
Private league.
It's
Well,
a
it's just
private
full.
group.
But
It's
she
just
can't
like
do
full.
that.
But do they-
irregardless whether
If
it's a
you're a
league or
private
whatever.
group and you would like those courts to be
Yeah.
reserved
That
for
would be
just your
fair.
group, you have
But
to
they
come.
don't reserve them though, right? She told me
No,
it's
they
first
just
come,
come,
first served.
they just come down there and do it, but they
Yeah.
have a set time that they're gonna do
Okay,
it.
what's the time? I'll start taking a group down there.
I think it come at like 9 o'clock on Monday morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too
But-
early.
Anyway, my point wasn't that whether they're
Instigators.
having a league, is that they keep coming and wanting all of these upgrades to what they're using.
yeah.
Without
they-
offering to help. at any
Not one of them has come in and said, man, look, we raised this much money to help pay for that.
Right.
What you get is a lot
What?
of you ought to.
Yeah. This is
You ought
what I
to.
want you to
You're
do.
responsible for this because you did this, but you didn't do it all the way. We want you now to be responsible to finish it to our specifications.
Yeah.
Explain to them that it's cooperation part and ask how they're going to cooperate in the solution.
Okay, so what are we doing with the resolve on the nets?
We're gonna look into it, we're gonna get some options.
Today.
This is not a deal breaker, they'll still play pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're not
Nobody's gonna
leaving.
stop playing. They'll just complain a little.
So, just the way Doug.
But when I get stopped in church and they ask me about I hear you're on the Parks Commission, we go and talk about that. Really?
Yeah, I'm at church.
Hey,
Leave me alone.
yes, yes. Welcome to the Parks Board in Tuscarora Township.
All right, are we going to basketball court?
Yes. I'm the one who, I've been up there several times. And I don't know if anybody else walks up and goes and looks at the basketball court at Cooperation Park, but it's not a basketball court. There's humps in it, It's cracked, it's everything under the sun. The really bad part about it is it would completely need to be tore up and redone.
So it is in the 5-year, or the whatever plan from the township too.
Is it?
Yes.
The 5-year plan.
Oh, not the no, not this one, the, what is the one that we go, yes.
The what? Capital.
Wait,
Capital
The
I'm
capital
sure I don't
improvement
remember
plan.
putting that in there.
Oh,
I
well,
did the CIP.
Thought he told me it was.
He said we talked about it, but
It
I
should be
don't
in
think
5
it
years.
went. And that was part of the
That's
thing
Yeah.
I
online.
was
It's an upgrade
talking
to a
about
5-year
with the,
Okay.
we have the $66,000 for parks in the fund balance.
I thought it was 68. I could
Okay,
be wrong.
68, maybe I'm wrong. Don't quote me on exact
I just
numbers.
wanna, yeah,
60-some
don't give
thousand.
anything away, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's, my question is, can we use some of that to redo this quarter? We can start looking at bids. Can we start doing something in the direction of
Sure, we
fixing
can
the
get
problem?
bids.
Okay.
Bids
Doug,
ain't-
what do you got?
I got a bid from the same people that did tennis courts.
Okay,
And to power clean, mill the court and remove all loose materials, cracks, humps as needed. Fill the cracks and seams, no guarantee on what they fill them with. Repaint it, restripe it with, the key 3-point line,
yeah,
and it would all be for $27,890.
But that's putting a Band-Aid on it, right?
well, that's kind of what we just did.
Kind of
with
what we
the
did to the tennis courts for
We did not
45 dollars.
completely tear out, and put all brand new concrete and footings on the tennis
So
court.
that needs to be, that actually does need to be on the CIP. It's
What
on your,
does?
if you're spending over $15,000, it's a capital improvements plan.
I understand.
And
We-
it's
we've-
probably in your parks
It's in the 5-year, it
plan,
should be
your
in the
5-year
5-year
plan, but it's not on the CIP. No.
We were talking about this, and that's where the capital improvement is a request for money from the township.
Right.
We're not requesting money from the township.
Well, any,
He's
We're
talking
not.
about using
Our
our
own
your
fund,
fund
funds,
balance
your
to
fund
pay for
balance.
it.
it's not a request for more money, that's what a CIP is.
This would be just, he's
This
talking
is-
about
that's-
using our
this
fund
is where
balance
that
to pay.
fund balance has been
Okay.
kind of coming in, because we're trying to figure out for some things that we would like to get done that aren't in here, or things that come up, like a well or this or that, can we use that money?
okay.
I know the basketball courts are in on this 5-year plan and everything else, but they're terrible, and there's people there playing every day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want you to fix them because I'm a basketball mom.
It's something. Now, what about the fencing? Is there anything that needs to be done? Would we want to change the layout to that, leave the fence?
Of the court, the way it
Yes.
is, I think it's fine.
Okay.
I mean,
Basketball hoops, do we need improvements on
Those are-
those? The two end
the
ones,
two
with
end
the
ones are
side
nice, the
hoops,
side ones might
could
need
be
to be
replaced.
redone.
So we could be looking at new side hoops. 27,000 is resurfacing
Painting, yep,
everything from that company.
yep.
Okay.
They,
Now, I
The
know new
surface would be
concrete,
done.
new foundation, all that stuff is out of the question, because that'd be way too much
oh, yeah.
money. I mean, it
Okay,
would
so the
be,
question is, that I have is, okay, so we're in northern Michigan, and it
Yes.
freezes and thaws. and,
Yep.
This guy says it's gonna last for a while, not gonna last for a while, what's, we
It's,
putting a Band-Aid on this, or what?
it's gonna last, he's gonna, for a while. He's gonna fill the cracks with the silicone stuff, and
same thing.
I don't care anywhere you put concrete, we just spent all that money and redid all the stuff in the ice rink with cutting it out and re-putting this
Yeah, it's going
patch
to
stuff in
crack.
there, and it's already cracking. Anything,
It's northern Michigan, the winters that we have, it doesn't, unless it's 20 inches thick, full of rebar, it's going to
Yeah.
crack.
Okay.
you're gonna, so,
Yes.
So have you ever considered, and this is just a thought, have you ever considered having drop-down hoops in the ice rink?
I'm not, the two, I'm not saying that I'd be against it, but it's, who gets to decide when the hoops are down, and who gets to decide when it's roller rink time, and who gets to
Oh, you
decide?
guys are doing roller, you're doing
People
roller.
play roller hockey in there, they
I
rollerblade,
didn't know
they,
that.
yes.
Well,
Yeah.
if you had that person, what was it,
The activities
The
director?
activity
Yeah.
director.
Yes,
and
the
the-
reason
Organized.
schedule.
Yes, well, the other thing that I was looking at too, and this is why I asked about
I guess we,
the fencing.
because we're better at coordinating things.
The brick walls around the bottom of that basketball court trap water,
Yeah.
which doesn't allow, in my opinion, the proper runoff to help keep from everything from freezing and cracking. On that back side, that was the only thing I was thinking about, maybe trying to figure out a better way to get it to drain or even incorporate a drain into the court.
You would probably have to perimeter drain on that upper side,
Okay.
because you couldn't ever move the earth back enough,
No.
far enough to, so you do like a trench drain with stone right up to
Yeah.
that, let the water go in it now.
Yeah, do a drain tile and
Yeah.
circle around and
Yeah.
get rid of it, dump it out the other end.
Just
I
like,
was
it-
thinking like actually in the center of the court.
no, you wouldn't want that,
Okay.
No,
because when you're dribbling the ball and you
no,
hit that grate, that ball's not gonna come back up.
I get your point.
that's another defensive player.
Right in the center of the court, it's just one.
Just one,
We can put a little 6-incher in there is all I'm saying. But
But-
no, that was just my thought
Yeah,
process.
no, that really doesn't hold water. I don't see standing water on there
Not too
as
much.
much as I do on the tennis courts.
Fair, fair.
So,
So, you've already got one quote and that's from that same dude.
yep,
Can you get two more?
I was gonna say.
good luck with that.
I was just gonna say, we had the same problem when we were looking at tennis courts.
So how do we go around that?
Well, if
We
you only
can
get one
look
bid,
for
you only
more
get one bid.
bids. We
You-
might not
you
be able to
can
find them.
try,
but we
there's
have
like-
to look.
Does the
you're-
bid policy
if you-
require?
Right, it does. And if you let out the bids and you only get one bid, then
It just is what
That's
it
it.
is.
it is what it is, right?
It covers it. And with this tennis court stuff, there's 3 companies in the state that does it, and this guy's based in Traverse City. So he pretty much does the northern run. When I got a hold of the guy that's down by Lansing,
Is
he's
that
like,
how
yeah,
come?
we don't.
We call that-
We
Call
don't
it
go
him.
with the clear.
We only go so far.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
they have got all the work that they need.
Oh, I'm sure.
This guy slid us in, he was going to paint 10 brand new courts at some community college
Right.
over by that way somewhere.
So how do we move forward on voting to,
Well, at this point,
Need a motion.
we need to file a motion to, and that's my question is this something that we would like to do out of our fund balance? Or is this something we are going to ask for a capital improvement
I
plan?
think request a capital improvement first.
But
Okay.
if it's not on the list, we don't have an opportunity?
Well,
Is that what I?
That's
You wouldn't vote
updated,
until
that's
next year's
updated every
We have to go
year.
into next
So,
year.
yep,
So
so
we're
it'd be
still a whole
March.
nother year out.
You're a whole
So
nother
the
year
the
out.
question becomes then, what's the availability of this
Of this
guy to get
gentleman,
this
yeah.
job done? I mean,
Right,
it's
we
not
ain't
gonna be-
getting him this year.
I understand.
So
It's
might
not
as
gonna be
well
till next
put
year
it down.
anyway,
So might
then
as
what's
well
the point?
shoot.
Yeah.
Well, but if you
I'll
don't
make-
approve money till next year, it's
I'll
not gonna
make
be
a
till the year
motion
after.
Right, but
to-
if it's a capital improvement, okay, it
Right.
could be part of not our money.
I'll make a motion to look into
Except
a
your-
capital improvement plan request through the township to get the basketball courts done as soon as possible.
So the capital improvements plan will update next year in March. We'll probably start working on it in the fall, because we waited way too long this year. So everybody's gonna submit what they want. You're gonna be at the board's mercy for what they decide they're spending the money on.
Yeah.
Versus, so you could do that versus.
can we put an activities director in the capital improvement?
not
Probably could, it's over $6,000 or 12,
Well-
right, 15, whatever the number is, it'd be
I
over
mean, it might
that.
not be
But I
like
went-
a thing, but you know.
Yeah.
And even if we did it as a part-time.
Well, the reason I was asking is because I think you guys should have. I think
So
you should have.
how do we encourage the board to think the same way?
You talk to
That's a
them.
good question.
They are coming,
They have to
The
be
bar-
watching the money just walk away and
Well,
wondering why we don't have the
Yeah,
money.
so you
I
don't
mean,
have
we
an
have a meeting
activities
tomorrow, right?
coordinator. My son I said I'm a basketball mom.
I get it.
My youngest son, both my sons coach. My youngest son is a college coach.
Love to have
Summertime,
a Gus Mackern in.
summertime, that's what he's doing. He's out recruiting at AAU tournaments. Gus Mackers.
Yep.
He didn't come to Indian River. He's
No.
coming here next week to vacation, but if you had a Macker tournament going on, he'd be there.
Well, they just
Correct,
had
but
one
we
in
would need
Ely.
an activities coordinator because
Yeah.
between the school, hopefully Cooperation Park in the future, like she was talking about, yeah, you
Yeah.
could put probably 4 courts inside of the tennis courts.
Oh,
yeah.
Top men's would play there, top
Yeah.
men's, top women's. And then between the school parking lot, the football parking lot,
Yeah.
The rink.
downtown, like,
The rink, yep.
Well,
we could host something like that, but we need somebody who's willing to put in legwork, because
yeah,
I don't have time for that much legwork
yeah.
on
Well,
those
it's
kind
not
of
a
projects.
job that we should do as volunteers either.
No, there's too much
No.
to do in that.
I know about the volunteer thing.
So as
It's
we're
fun.
talking about basketball courts, I know we're talking about redoing the ones at Co-op. But I mentioned it before about something downtown at Marina Park. Whether it be, I hate driving through Lansing and I watch all the kids downtown, right there in the park. Kids are playing on all the playground stuff, the older kids are playing basketball, you got volleyball. We don't seem to promote our children to hang out downtown in Indian River at Marina Park. There's not much for our kids to do.
We just put in a new swing set.
Well, I'm just saying, I would like to encourage it more. There's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
If we were to encourage it with basketball court or a couple of volleyball courts, there's room there. Upper Marina Park, there's room. It would take care of some problems from some other people that try to use Upper Marina Park.
For whatever reason, forever, they ran the kids out of downtown.
They have.
Yeah, when you were, I mean,
They did it to me when I was a kid too. Trust me, it's
they
never
chased
changed.
us out of
And we'll have a
everywhere.
little conversation about that when it
I want to keep bringing that to the forefront. I really think we need to incorporate that into our downtown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And people need a place, there's not one volleyball court left in Indian River. There's not one at the beach, there's not one at the
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah, they got a net up down.
I got the net back up down there. It sucks, but it's up.
Thank you. It's
The
not-
beach isn't really big enough for a
It's
volleyball
not.
court.
It's
It's not
not.
wide enough. That's why it sucks.
I wish we had more property at the green docks because you put it across the street and then the kids could go jump in the water after they get done playing. They'd be there all day, but we don't have the room.
So, I have to tell you, so this, my husband and I took a trip this winter, and we went down to North Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
And we went
Yeah.
to South Myrtle Beach,
Yep.
just to walk down the,
Here.
yeah,
Did you watch all
wow.
the volleyball courts?
Yeah.
And all the basketball courts?
They were not on the beach, they were just, somebody dumped sand, they had, and they had tournaments going
There's no
on.
reason we can't do that at Marina Park.
No, you're right.
It's the only place I see that there's room to do it.
You just have to leave room for my kids to park their boat
Well, they-
trailers.
That's a lower Marina Park.
Yeah.
We could be up top more, right behind the trail. Right off the trail.
Yeah, we need to buy Cook's property.
I know, but
Great.
So on the capital improvement for next year, you need to add that in there under Marina Park.
okay. All right, fine. Tennis
It
courts.
says add park
Tennis
amenities.
courts, we could do really quick, because that would be just sand and a couple of 4x4 poles.
Are you talking about volleyball?
Volleyball courts, yeah. Sorry. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
but how much does sand run these days?
We got a whole bunch just.
All we gotta do is get a truck and a piece of equipment.
Right.
Yep,
Got lots to say.
they filled
We
us
got all
up.
the sand we need.
Yeah, they filled us up, Bill and that VA, they gave us tons of sand.
I'm not getting into this right now.
No, we just hire
We
a
could start
contractor
selling
around
food.
here to go bale sand out of there and move it for us.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking would happen when we do the sand at the beach,
Yeah.
is we'd hire somebody just to go up and take our sand and put it
Sift it and put it
on our beach, and then you pay for their
services.
service. Yeah.
Marina Park. Did we just go through that?
We did basketball courts, updating F's Field 6 fence barrier.
Yeah, no, we haven't talked about that yet. So we need to, it's already in our budget for that.
Fence.
For the
that
fencing.
So we just need to call Jimmy, and we need to get him
Yep,
going.
get him moving on.
Correct.
please, just,
So
I will
I'd
do
like
that.
to make a
Tell 'em go.
motion to,
It's already there. We're already,
We did that earlier, and I'm gonna call Jimmy and tell him we're gonna go.
alright,
Yep.
you're gonna leave a hole in the fence, right, please?
I
two
have a
bids.
gate and the Oppenheimers or whatever, however you pronounce.
I don't know how to say that.
They have a gate that they will provide to put in too.
Oh, okay. Are we putting no trespassing signs up?
No,
No, okay, thank you.
we'll just run a fence down
we
there.
want people to
And-
trespass, I think, don't we, want them on the market?
It's,
I just, on the other side.
Oh, on,
and at that point, I mean,
Yeah,
And has anybody had a conversation with them in regards to retrieving foul balls?
no, but, I mean, we can ask them, I mean,
We just
talked-
need to have that conversation.
right.
Yes, there just needs to be a conversation about what would you like us to do as far as retrieving the foul balls during
I
the
mean,
game.
cause it's gonna be really confusing if I say, well, you can walk up to this line and retrieve your balls, but you're not gonna walk on the other side of this
But-
line.
That's almost unenforceable.
Yeah,
A foul ball goes flying back, where does every little kid go running?
They jump over the fence.
To get the ball. They're gonna go for the ball. And unless you're gonna position a person to stand at that fence and go, no.
No, I agree with you hundred
You
percent.
you know, I mean, in my opinion, they're being a little bit,
This fence is gonna deter kids from going into their backyard and
Correct.
playing.
right,
That's what,
right. The fence is there, it's kind of a permanent barrier.
yes.
Then anything that happens after that is not our
well, and I
responsibility.
think part of the issue too is that it's been promised for X amount of years and it hasn't been
Right.
fulfilled. So let's just get the fence up and,
It was paid for once, already.
So,
Yeah, so
When
just
they
do
did the
it.
fence around the field,
Just do it.
it was supposed to be included, it was paid for included, and never got completed.
you know, also in this or this 5-year plan, I was reading the notes in here and it also says something about going around and, or putting that angle barrier on top of the fence.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, I have not been to one field yet this year for softball tournaments that had that barrier.
The angle at the top,
Not
we
one.
are the only ones that have it on every field.
What's that?
Not every field.
Well, we have it on,
The ones that I've been to haven't had it.
yeah, that's what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah, okay.
Most places that I go to, they don't want an angle at the top because that stops the guy from making the catch 3 more feet
Oh, right.
away from the
Right.
fence.
or it brings the ball back down at the catcher too quickly.
Yes, and he doesn't.
You know what I mean? It just pockets right.
What's on there? We don't have to do
It says extend the fence on the south side of the park and replace fence toppers on all 6 ball fields.
I always thought that was your idea.
Fence topper
With straight.
isn't the
You wanna replace them
kickback.
with straight.
No,
Oh, what is the topper?
Fence topper
Oh,
is
that's
the
the
yellow
PVC,
stuff.
so you can't get,
Oh,
you can't shove the fence up in your arm.
Okay, well, it says those all to be
well,
replaced.
well, the problem we had is they put 3-foot fence in all the way around the outfield, so then they had to come back and add a 1-foot extension, 4-foot fence.
Oh, gotcha.
So that, part of that is, yeah, so it kinda,
No, the topper is just the
Yellow
corrugated
thing.
plastic that goes
Yeah.
in.
Okay.
I mean, the
Benches
branches
have all-
they put a cut in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, those are.
we had benches brought up, the benches have been complete, I thought you said with your
Okay,
email.
I get the picture at my,
Yeah.
yeah, like, what the.
Oh, the benches out at the
Yeah.
beach?
Was it the beach or was it?
No,
the
it's at
Cooperation
Wow.
Park.
Cooperation
Oh,
Park.
you're talking about the bleachers.
Yes, the bleachers.
Is that what
Because
it
I've
is?
had complaints about the wooden benches down at the
No.
beach that were gone and came back.
No, the ones that co-op, the wooden bleachers.
Yeah,
The
there's
wooden
some
bleachers, I
busted up
went
ones.
around and replaced as much rotted wood.
I figured.
I
Yeah.
spoke to that person too. I called that person and explained to them that it was part of the plan that was going on and they were amenable to that.
And I did my best not to cut any of those 2x12 so that we can use them for another project. If we get the grant, we take all the bleachers out.
Correct, because that's
Good
the
for you.
idea. Because we're
Yep.
getting rid of all of that and going to metal bleachers
Right.
if we get the grants.
Right. So that they're all done and, yeah.
Gravel and grading.
Yeah, that was me. Okay, so Bob got a hold of the Parks, or the Parks, County Road Commission,
Okay.
and they put gravel and grading at Co-op Park, so we don't have as many holes. Does it turn out okay?
It went a ways. I mean,
Okay, I mean, you're gonna have usage, and that's just gonna wear it back down, but.
Yes.
we were able to get some of the bad areas fixed, but
Still got,
Co-op Park is
Cooperation Park needs to be paved.
when I could go in there and put
A ton of apples.
tons of apple stone in there, and in about 3 or 4 years, you could put it all back
Yeah,
in there
right.
because it went right through the sand.
Yeah.
Right.
Just got beat down, but
So really
what
what
we
you
did
got
is-
is you've got a surface,
yeah, there's sand roads that we're trying to dump gravel on, and it just doesn't
Yeah, it
work.
would
But
need an actual.
it did help what he gave us there, got it, and we happened to get it in there right before the brining,
oh,
so
perfect.
it-
Oh,
it
Helps.
stayed.
Yeah.
He also got some delivered down at.
that's what I was, yeah, that was the
Marina
next thing,
Park,
yes.
yeah.
Did that help at all?
It
down there?
helped that when they did, the streetscapes,
Yes.
it was that.
Right,
They stockpiled stuff there. When they cleaned it up, they dug out the gravel, cleaning it up, and there was a sandy punch bowl
sure.
in the middle of the parking lot.
Sure.
They- Basically, what they did was just went in and filled that back up, so it's not soft anymore.
I thought he was gonna add some to it, but
But, yeah,
It
but,
did, but not.
not enough to make a difference.
No.
no.
Just so you guys know, the supervisor has discretionary funds that he can use for certain projects. So it's not out of our budget that
Right.
these things were accomplished, but it was out of his.
Okay.
So I don't know what else he can do with that, but those are two things that he did.
Right.
So we don't have to pay for anything. Now, I don't know what the road commission charged for doing
It
that,
was,
but if we want to get into you being able to say, look, we got a problem down there, would you guys do a
Yeah.
fill job?
right.
I think you should have some discretion, but you know,
I
yeah,
don't see,
what do we do?
I don't have a problem with it, and we could use a little bit more of it, to be honest with you.
Right. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff done in a hurry, right there at the end. and
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I was quite pleased with everything that he did, and
Helped out with, for sure.
Well, if they pulled all those pavers that were in front of the road commission up there in Sheboygan and brought them down here and put them at Cooperation Park and installed them for us, that would be nice.
Can you make that happen?
What, yeah. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming.
Next on the list, the boat launch. Increasing fees at the boat launch.
Yeah, so Bob called me about this one, and I guess there's no say, he called whoever in regards to the boat launch.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can set those prices at whatever you want.
Right, yeah.
And he said he did some calling around, so we charge $6 to put your boat in.
$6 in and out
Yeah.
for the day.
You can charge him more to get it out.
It's $20
5
in
in and
at
12 out,
how,
you
it's
know.
$20 in at how, it's $20 out at how.
Is it really?
$15 to park your boat and trailer out back.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
$65 to use Howe Marina's
Well,
boat
and
launch.
Burt Lake is 15,
Burt Lake,
Marina,
Marina,
down here. Down here.
the
you
Marina.
can
Buy a boat launch pass for Burt Lake Marina?
what'd they do? The new owners got rid of the condo?
Don't ask me.
I
If you're
don't know.
talking the Burt Lake,
over
bought it.
here, those
Maybe they
are,
bought it.
those are slips.
Listen, I can't point in the directions of the Marina.
Okay.
Right, down here, the one on the water, that was a dock-a-minium.
yes.
And you bought in, not, you didn't, you
We're,
couldn't
we're
launch
talking
your
about
boat
the
there.
boat launch that you go by Ken's, right? You go
Yeah.
by Ken's.
All
you go
the way
that
down to the end,
Yes,
it's a
so
locked gate on it.
Not anymore.
Right.
No, so you can put your boat in there for $15.
Mike pulled the lock off the gate and,
Huh.
wow, I know where I'm putting my
It was
boat.
on the other side.
Well,
Okay, so what is,
I ride my bike
what is the
there.
DNR
I've
charge?
never seen it online.
At Burt Lake
you
State
buy-
Park, you gotta buy a
Your
state park
seasonal
pass.
park
Buy your
pass.
sticker, but if you're from Ohio, that doesn't matter. They just do whatever they want, so.
Well,
yeah,
then you buy your daily park pass.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all part of it.
All
Yes.
part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so we don't have to, that's an apples and oranges thing.
Yeah, you
Correct.
can't
Yeah.
compare with that.
Not
All
even,
right.
but like,
So-
Indian, I don't know the price of Indian River Marina. I don't.
What is it, Hal?
How? It's $20 in, $20 out, and $15 to park your boat.
so the best way to go is to go buy a pass.
The best way to go is to go buy a state park pass, or you can buy a township pass, it's $35,
40
$40 now for a pass for the township.
annual.
And you can use the boat launch in town all day, every day.
I mean, I don't know what the right answer is. He's just saying
Our
that
$6 rate is not enough
for putting your boat in, you're putting your
Correct.
boat out, and parking your boat at the thing. I
So-
don't
So
think
did
it's
he,
enough.
did he talk to anybody at the state? Because that was paid for with grant money, and the state said.
He said he talked to whoever, and we have the right to increase the.
We can increase
You
it, but
can
we still
increase it,
can't
but-
spend the money from it.
Correct.
Right,
It's restricted.
it's restricted,
Correct.
yes.
So we could increase the money at the boat launch, which would increase the amount of money that said goes into that fund
Yeah.
to
Maintenance
cover maintenance and improvements, which are, inflation is going up, so we
So,
really
Well,
need
the
to.
question becomes one, what do we need to do down there to maintain and improve? Are we spending more, want to spend more than what we're generating, or are we getting more money in than what we're spending?
Well,
What needs to be done, if anything?
okay, what needs to be done
Yeah,
is about 200,000,
okay.
because they wanna put flush toilets down there
Right.
when the sewers go through.
That sounds
So-
like a capital improvement to me.
Right, it's about, gonna be, for the site work and everything, it's gonna be
But
close to
those type of
$100,000.
improvements can use those
Back.
funds.
Well, I understand that, but, I mean, we could gold plate some.
Right, when things go bad down, wear out, like
That's the
that center
problem,
dock
isn't it?
wears out, or
Right.
if something goes with the seawall, those are going to be massive expenses. You're talking hundreds of thousands of
Okay,
dollars, not.
so if we went from 6 to 10, is that gonna kill everybody? And when should we initiate that?
Right.
And if we go for, right now it's 40 for the local person, basically, to
Right.
use that, should we go up to 60? You know,
Well-
that's the kind of thing that we should be talking about here.
Well,
And as long as it's designed to defray actual maintenance and actual expense,
Right.
then I don't have a problem with raising the rates.
Especially if it brings us up to par with what everybody else is charging.
Well,
and
I
part of
don't
that-
think that's the criteria. I think the criteria is our obligation to
I'm saying
maintain and
we
improve.
can stay lower, but there's no
Yes.
reason why we can't.
Oh, no, I
Up to
get it,
speed.
but, no, my question is do we need, how much do we need to charge?
Oh.
That's all. I understand there's,
Could we charge this? Yes.
And it's stuff
But do we really need to?
For the
Yeah.
amount of
That's
money.
all I'm asking.
I'd
I
like to
just don't
charge
think
more, but less than
$10
everybody
is a
else.
lot.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
It's probably, you're probably right, it's not, but the reason I'm questioning this is because I did read the grant. And the grant, there's some rules in the
Yeah.
grant. The grant specifies that I believe you have to get the state's permission to raise the rates.
That's,
I'd like to see the grant. People say
Ask-
this is what's in, this
so-
is what's not. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything. This is
Ask them for a copy of the grant.
You
I
know,
mean, they
I
have
just-
it, I saw it.
Right. It's a waterway.
so is that something you wouldn't mind looking into then?
No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, it's like everything else. It's this way, and I'm
Taking
going,
somebody's word
show
for
me
it.
something.
Yeah,
That's all.
and I would say,
You know?
ask for the grant,
Well,
a copy
okay.
of it. It's not, he's got, it's in those offices.
I don't have
saw
a
it.
problem with raising the price. I don't want to raise it, doesn't need to be raised to $20, probably not. I don't see a reason for that. Here's my question. The boat launch park pass, does that include the overflow parking lot? Is part of it.
Yes.
So it's all tied together. So when they put their boat in, it's one lump sum to use all of it. Okay.
Per day.
And while we're talking about the boat ramp
Yep.
and improvements for the boat ramp, it is not much money. It's been looked into by 2 or 3 different people. I don't know if you did, the kiosk that they can pay with their card,
Yes.
and it,
Who looked into it? I
Jim
never
Gordon.
did.
You can pay
Gordon's
with your
been
card
looking
online,
into it.
and
It's,
Okay, so what you're saying, electronic payment?
Yeah,
yes, and
yeah.
get rid of
Just
our
like
little
parking everywhere else.
drop box down there.
Well,
This
but-
thing will take your card
Go on Traverse
payment
City.
Okay,
and
So
spit you
there's-
out a
but
receipt.
I think you still have to have the option of cash. I think I still gotta be there.
So think about the parking lot over, because I took pictures of this thing. This was like something that Bobby and I talked about trying to implement, because it would help the township. Think about the parking lot over at Petoskey, the one where you go up to the kiosk and you have to punch your
Yeah.
license number in. That's what you should have.
Yeah.
And then it spits out a ticket, and
It
you put
spits
the
out a
ticket on your
ticket, and you
dash,
put
and
the
if you
ticket on
don't
your
have
da-
it, then you get a ticket.
Correct.
Yep, Or you're putting your driver's or your license plate number in, so if they're walking,
Yeah, they're just gonna
that
find it.
company, they have a scanner that cop walks around, scans, or whoever, it doesn't even have to be a cop, scans your license plate, and if you have not entered it in, ticket, you're getting a ticket.
That's that activity director?
Sure, why not?
Activity. Yeah.
But, I mean, that
Wow,
would
this job
just,
description just keeps growing.
Yeah,
it's another thing that would, it would
Yes.
help
Ease.
mainly on the township end, not so much ours, but it would also make it a little more modern down
well,
there
it
than
helps
the
you
old
too.
wooden box that
Okay,
you flip up.
so, so if it's tied to parking, which it is, okay, is all the money that would be paid for the launch and taking it back out again, do we have to, can we segregate some out? $2 out of that goes to maintaining the parking area?
Nope,
No,
Why not?
because that's,
because
it's
the
a
grant, all that
restricted,
money, and of this kitty that's over here, we can use money out of that to improve the parking area. It's
We
anything
can.
for
Yes.
upkeep and maintenance of that facility.
Okay, so if I'm parking at Marina Park, that's included and we can use that money for, you follow me?
Oh, you're talking for Lower Marina Park?
Yeah.
You can't, because those are separate properties then.
That's
Well,
what
hold
I'm
on a
saying.
minute,
That's what I'm
that's where the
saying.
overflow parking is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Now, no, wait a second. So if we're charging for parking and launch in
Right.
one fee, why can't we take a dollar out of that and make it work for Marina Park only?
It possibly, I mean, these are questions that have to go to the waterways grant people, because
Well,
when we
if
were
it's in-
looking
if
at
it's in
the
that- If
seawall.
it's in that grant agreement,
Right.
Yeah.
then
We were
that'll
looking at the
specify. If it
seawall,
doesn't, then it
trying to
doesn't.
defer some of that to the boat launch. Because it is for tying up while
Yeah.
the ramp is busy and waiting and stuff, but everybody was leery because it was a separate property, and the way that the state grants are, if
I know
you
about
screw
that.
anything up,
Lower,
Look,
Lower
look,
Marina
Doug,
Park
it's
is
gonna
your
be,
overflow.
it's gonna be either black and white,
Right.
or it's so stupid gray that someone's gonna have to tell us in a letter whether we have permission to do that or not, and then that solves it.
right, so we
Okay,
just gotta look
so
into it.
let's do it.
Okay.
Let's take a look at it, you know?
So-
I'll get back.
You're telling me that Lower Marina Park is overflow restricted to the other side? But we can't, so we can't, it's confusing.
no, I think, somebody's saying something
Because you're talking
wrong.
about two different separate proproperties.
It's
Lower
not
Marina
because it's-
Park is not
yeah.
a separate property?
If it's the parking lot that's used for the
Right.
for the boat launch, the
Right.
boat launch money can go to be used for maintenance for that parking lot.
Correct.
The same thing
The
with
overflow parking lot.
the
That's my
overflow
question.
parking lot, yes.
Is that deeded, is that also part of that?
It's not, it's your overflow parking lot. God, I'd have to go back and look at the grant.
Right,
That's my
it is-
problem, because $6 to put in and out and park
Right.
in that parking lot, great. If you park in the overflow, it's another $5.
But it's
'Cause
not their
then-
fault that they have to park back there.
No, but that
No,
adds
besides
money.
that, you're
That
gonna
adds
chase-
money to our
yeah,
Marina
but you're gonna
Park
chase
fund to
people
do
away.
projects.
Right.
You already gotta walk, now you gotta walk.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in a worse parking lot and charge you more money?
Hey, what do you want from me?
All right, I'll be there at 5 AM to put my boat in.
No problem. You wanna know, that's what I put mine in.
So,
And leave it at the
when
little
Greg
dock
looks into
across
all
the-
this, he'll have answers for us on this, the next, whether we can
That
use
would be the
that
plan,
way we
But
can.
I guess the question becomes one, can we increase the fee, have it be effective this summer?
Right.
We have to
I
contact.
don't know, you
the
gotta talk
state
to
to
the
look
state,
into it.
yeah. Mike, and Bob should have that number, the gal that, because Mike was talking, we were talking, back when we were doing the, seawall.
Right.
We were talking to, the gal that's the head of the waterways stuff, and she was telling us what we couldn't do. We could have actually used money from there for that seawall, but it had to be approved prior to the project, and nobody knew that. Because it can be used for other waterways
That's because it
projects.
wasn't gonna cost us nothing.
Well, okay.
Moving on.
All right.
We're almost there, hang on.
I have no clue.
I just got a kid getting out of practice. Upcoming events. Summerfest is coming up. What are we, anything going on for that?
Don't,
No.
there's a car show,
Okay,
there's a craft show.
okay. That's,
None of that's parks.
None of
It's
that's
not called
parks.
the Summerfest, it's a
19.
summer
Any-
gala.
any-
Oh, that's right,
okay.
they changed.
Sorry. All right.
Right, nothing for parks on that at all,
Okay.
because she has the beer
Nothing at the
tent.
beach?
The beer tent
No,
is
no
going
fun.
to be at the brewery.
Oh, that's right.
She's gonna use, I think, Upper Marina Park parking lot, but that's, again, not really the park, so. And she keeps mentioning, Carnival, and
Great weekend for it.
we,
Would be a great weekend.
she can only do the
Yeah.
little bit up top, that's,
Yeah.
in, so. And boat races are
Everything usually runs.
going just
Yeah.
as smooth as they can go.
Been
Unless
running
it's,
for-
unless it's windy,
Right.
then they don't.
Then they don't go
Fair,
smooth.
fair.
But no, they are so well organized, that thing is
Yeah,
so
no.
smooth with them, that is.
How many
just-
years have been doing
A
that?
long time.
Those people are old dead, they're still doing it, right?
That's
yeah,
right,
it's-
yes.
It's great.
So you brought up a library in Kiwanis film night.
Okay, so Upper Marina,
Yep,
they got the pavilion there.
yep.
The, Kelsey has asked for Kiwanis to help out with this thing. The idea is a free film for families. This is not gonna be anything R, it's PG is
Right.
is the closest you're gonna get. Waive fee for rental.
Yep.
It's the library is one, but Kiwanis is also in on this. I think it's gonna be maybe a buck or something to get access to that, but have all the popcorn you can eat and that kind of thing. It's gonna be one of those family night things.
Okay.
And they're gonna have a blow-up screen, a big one.
Yeah,
not-
yeah, yeah.
Not this size,
Yeah.
it's gonna be bigger than that. And the idea is to be able to have that
On one-on-one.
sheltered if we have to, if it's gonna rain. So
Mhm.
we use the
Yeah.
shelter for that. The only thing you gotta really worry about is the projector. So they're gonna run hot wire from whatever, is it, you got electricity there?
Yeah.
So we should be good to go. I'm just looking for, I'll bring the motion.
Permission or?
Oh, well, just, yeah, permission to use and waive any rental fee.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It's,
I'll abstain, being the president of Kiwanis. Perfect.
no, it is, that's, okay, no.
No.
I already approved all of that
Right.
when,
You should have asked for it.
no, honestly, remember when I started, well, and Dave, we made the deal that on the smaller
Yes.
uses of our properties,
He has.
the one hitters,
Yeah.
that's all me.
Oh, no,
I
wait a second.
approve and
Okay, so
disapprove.
let's back up. This is an inaugural.
Right,
Kelsey would like to do this once a month.
okay, and that's
Okay,
fine.
same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be a lot of
If-
fun.
We'll
No,
work-
Keep doing that.
It would,
Yeah.
Well,
the
this
idea is
guy
to have
said
something to
something
do.
else to me
Yeah,
too that I wanted to bring up.
What's
but
that?
He was talking about music.
You know, okay, so have you ever attended Stroll the Streets in Boyne City?
Nope.
Anybody?
Nope.
Okay, so it's amazing. All of the local businesses, like, have little people sitting outside and strumming their guitars and
Little
playing.
people? Little people?
Oh, I didn't mean little people. I
You
meant,
meant midgets.
People, had people
You
they
outside.
had
Hi-
people
hi,
outside
Sharon.
playing
Hi, Sharon.
music.
Lawyers thrown out.
Dave did the same
I
thing.
got very excited about that.
No, they, on Friday nights, you know, especially when they do the poker run, they'll bring in all of the boats
Yeah.
on the trailers, and then they'll close down the main road, and then you can go around and you can look at all of the boats, or it's just an opportunity for like the business owners to come out and meet and greet people, and they have like drinks and things like that. But it's like the coolest experience in the world, because they totally shut down downtown.
Yeah.
And they got music everywhere.
And this is Friday nights.
On Friday night, Stroll the Streets. Yep. Look up Boyne City's chamber
It's like
page.
tiny Nashville.
Yeah, it's so cool though.
The DDA has looked
Walking in
into that a
Memphis.
couple of times.
Have they?
Doing music down the streets, like close the street and have different types of music at 3 or 4
Different places.
locations and walk the,
But like for the Tri-Tunes thing this weekend, it would, you know, for example, they could have shut down the road and then had like different boats out for people to like look at. All the business owners would be out, you know.
What I was talking about was,
Yeah.
with Bo, was doing like a parks festival, weekend-long parks festival, where we have entertainment in the rink. We have bands coming in and out.
So the activities director?
But, yeah, I mean,
You know, I think we need.
this
to-
is something, even if we didn't get an activities director, we could,
Pull it off.
Yeah.
all of us work together and pull it up for one, getting some music in, but
We'd
if
have
we
to-
got a beer tent up, you know, service some alcohol and had entertainment throughout the day, you do like they do at the beer tent here, you kind of work it to where you have easy listening, you know, work it
Yes.
to the evening thing and have it in. We could make some pretty good money, and I bet you people would pour out to,
No, agreed.
Well, and it's something different, like especially if you did it on a Friday or a Saturday night, you
Right.
know? And
Something
I think that's what this town is craving though, is something
Something to
new
do.
and something different.
we got a lot of people here and not much for them to do.
Right.
Well, you ain't kidding, other than go to the bar.
Yep.
Hang out on your boat,
Or
and
watch reruns.
there you go. Okay. Mechanism for calling a special meeting?
Yeah, I just had a question. How do we want to do this? Because I emailed you a couple times.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I didn't get a reply. No,
That's-
you're fine.
No, it's not fine. It's my fault. I
But-
totally just way too busy and
And that
didn't
happens.
make the minute.
So that's why it's okay. Don't beat yourself up.
Not
He's done, I
really.
give up baseball.
What I'm saying is if Dave has, or me, or Courtney,
Yes.
if we have a hot item that we need to get some,
Together about.
yeah, some approval on, or we got a different idea on something, tennis courts, or
and to
whatever,
me-
you know?
In my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but am I the only one that can call a meeting?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I
Why?
think it takes three,
Well,
I'm
that's
not
my
sure
question.
do we have rules?
Yeah, I don't know what the rule, I don't know where the rules are.
I'm
I-
assuming that falls under the same rules that the board does, so two other members can request a meeting
Two or
to be called.
three?
Right.
I think it's two.
So if two other members request a meeting,
request.
we can request a meeting. Now, the special meeting part is where I get confused.
No, okay,
So
so you need a
Owen-
posting,
Well, that's,
then
my,
you just have Jay do it.
my question
No.
is, and this is where I get confused. Are you telling me that the five of us cannot meet and have a discussion about anything unless it's in this
Open
room
meeting.
and on there?
True.
Open meeting.
True.
Exactly.
This has
Open
nothing
meeting.
to do with it, but
So,
open
so
meeting.
Courtney and I,
Okay.
now we have we're working on
On
this
this town.
lease thing,
Right,
okay?
trying to
That's different.
Right.
We're a committee.
Right.
Now, if we sit down and post it, we're gonna have discussion about this thing, that's one thing. We're just gonna go back and forth till we
Correct.
develop something, that's
And
different.
then you're gonna bring it to everybody else?
Yes.
That's right.
Correct.
And then public
So
comment
it can only
be
be
on there.
two, they can only have two members that are in a committee. You can have
Right.
other people outside of the board.
Right, help,
She could be
whatever,
on the
yes.
committee, or he
Correct,
could
but only
be,
two board members.
but only two board members.
Okay,
Did I just hear you?
She just volunteered you
I just saw
to.
I
that.
thought so.
Yeah, did you see the big
I
stick?
did.
Really
So-
I saw the finger anyway.
The mechanism for calling a special meeting,
Is you sending an
Basically-
email to him, and it has to be done 18 hours in advance of the
right,
meeting.
he needs 2 days ahead
Yeah.
of schedule for us to be able to
Yeah.
call a meeting, and we
Yeah.
can call a meeting whenever we want to.
That's right.
As long as.
As long as this is open, or as
Correct.
long as this room is
Okay,
open.
so that
We're good.
kind of,
Doesn't necessarily have to be this room either.
No. if you use
No.
the library,
So if you
go over to the
two-
we
library.
could go to the beach, we've done it at different
You could
places.
say-
I like the brewery, frankly.
Well, if we
It
wanted to
has-
meet, like, say, down at the beach and look at bricks once for our meeting.
I like the brewery,
You
frankly.
could do that,
Bring the
but you
bricks
have
to
to
the
make
brewery.
sure that the public knows that you're gonna be there. You have
It's
to give
all
an
part of
address.
the meeting plan.
Gotta be posted, yep.
Yeah.
Any public opinion back there?
Opinion or
I
comment?
mean, public comment, public opinion, it doesn't show
There's
on my
public
sheet,
opinions.
public
Event
comment?
coordinator?
Anybody? Anybody?
I think you guys should get a, what's it called again?
The-
An event
Event
coordinator.
coordinator.
um,
That, I'll tell you what, it's, for 3 years I've been bringing it up.
It's something
It's
we
getting
really need,
traction.
yes, it's something we really need if we want to start creating money to help build our parks. We need an event
So how do we
coordinator.
go about doing that?
Well,
Activity
you-
coordinator, whatever you wanna call
You know,
it, we need one of those,
I
but
can answer
Doesn't-
that. You
I was
guys,
gonna say, it
you
doesn't
guys
have to
approve
be-
it.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Approve
have
it,
to
you put it
be
in the
limited
budget.
to parks. You can do something with the township, have a person designated to handle things like the Fourth of July parade, Memorial Day parade.
Isn't that the
Putting
chamber?
together this stroll with sounds, whatever it is, but that person could do things, for us, with us,
Right.
softball, whatever, you know,
And-
tournament, just handle those kinds of things. And really, I don't see a limitation to that. What I see is, okay, we could be part of that. And I think we need to have,
When we do our budget workshop next year,
Yep.
we need to add it in and
You
see
add
if
it
it
in.
flies.
Yeah, if it goes in, you.
They could also, person could possibly be a grant writer,
correct.
you know, that, to help the township, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, to spread
yeah,
over.
well, that would be a
Well,
nice
for
adjunct to
parks,
that.
for grants for
Between
parks.
now and the
Yeah,
next budget,
that would be a nice adjunct to
so between
that.
now and the next budget, we
Right.
need to do our homework and research what this person's gonna cost or what they could possibly bring in and.
Sure.
And we do have, there are a couple local people who are interested in
Yes.
possibly pursuing that.
I know.
Okay, I just got a question. What happened to your assistant? Do you have a new one?
What happened to my assistant was Drew,
He got a job.
yes,
Okay.
basically he got a job, called from the union, signed the books tomorrow, go to work Monday,
Right.
on Friday.
So you got dumped on.
So it all fell apart. I have interviewed 4 people. I have pretty much narrowed it down to 2,
Okay.
and I told them I would let them know by Friday.
We
Okay,
got
how you feeling?
anybody we know?
Well, don't let it close the
Tom
meeting.
Radel Jr.
Okay.
Um,
Sarah's boy, Danny's nephew.
yeah, what was his name? Steve? I wrote him down. Let me see where I wrote him down, because I knew I'd forget him. But it's probably gonna be Tom Radel Jr. is the one.
That's,
Dude,
Say
renowned.
this on the
Huh?
you should say this on the camera.
Oh,
You have 2
You
that
can
you're
just close the
considering.
meeting and then we can talk.
I was trying to, but somebody brought it up.
Steve Bentley was the other name, and Trevor Hanel.
Trevor.
Okay. So you got 3, then. 4.
Oh, and Joe Dudak.
Oh, you did?
Dudak. Yeah.
So
Anything
you're gonna,
else?
you got somebody in the works and you're gonna have them starting maybe next Monday? is what you're saying.
No, it would be 2 weeks from Monday,
Okay.
because that way it works out for Jay's lead time to get them into payroll and.
Yeah, okay,
Everything else.
okay. And then we had the bathroom stopping up over here. Is that ours?
Yes, it is.
Is that our
Can you stand
thing?
up and do it?
I don't know if it's yours, the township, who does it, but 90% of the phone calls about problems with bathrooms and stuff, by the time the person makes the call and it gets here,
It's already taken
it's
care of.
already taken care of.
Okay,
Because the first thing we do at 7 o'clock every morning is clean bathrooms, and
Yep.
somebody went in there.
okay.
Oh my God, the green docks, the Porta Johns overflowing down there, we gotta get something done. And I said, well, it gets cleaned on Monday. I'll go down and check, and I go down there and it's pretty clean blue water,
Yeah.
all freshly washed.
No problem. So I guess my concern is that if you really do have a quasi-permanent stoppage, or what's the plan? Do we have something in play that would allow you to call Chaskey, say, or somebody, just to get something up real fast?
Yeah, I could take anything comes up, like, as soon as the well went out,
That's a
there was
bad
no
phrase to
question.
use.
What's that?
Comes up, but anyway,
But, like, when the wells went out, we
Right.
lost 2 wells last year.
yep,
I did not
Hesitate.
I called Ramsby Well Drilling and said, get
bingo,
up
they're
here and
there.
fix this.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
we gotta have,
yeah. So
We
you,
can sort out how to fix it later, or what,
Yeah,
pay for
you're
it
gonna-
later, but we gotta have.
we gotta pay for it, one way or another.
yeah, so I guess my thought process is giving Doug, And then we could do this next time, but giving Doug some
He has
permission
that
to do that.
authority already.
Does he?
We've
Yeah,
done it from our
Yeah,
own
he's got
board.
he's got
Yeah.
a certain level of authority.
Yes.
over
Yeah.
it.
Okay, whatever that is, you know, we should,
Yeah.
it should be like out and open, and everybody should know what the hell's going on.
We need to get you some stuff from the last
Okay.
couple of years to kind of catch you up to.
Alright.
Yeah,
Paperwork.
More stuff
however
is
you
what I
like
need.
it.
Right, but yeah, no, I have a
He
pretty,
does,
He's got more
Broad.
authority than we do.
Yes,
kind of.
broad
well, because
latitude.
I report to more than one board.
Yeah, I know that, I know
So-
that.
so I wear
here we are,
different
here we
hats
are.
and
So,
different-
I just wanna make sure you're, you know, feeling
Yep.
comfortable doing all this
No,
stuff.
I'm
and-
comfortable with everything
Right.
that I do.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
far, we've got some, voted on some leniencies and stuff like that he gets to make those calls on when it comes
Yeah,
pertinent to being
yep, I was
done.
just concerned.
Just so that things can happen on the fly and don't have to wait for
Right.
a month for something
That needs to be done now.
and kind of use my discretion as to whether I think it warrants, oh, wait, no, we can't. Because like today, we rented out the pavilion at the beach
Yeah, we
this
did.
morning
Cool.
for today.
Yeah.
Would you have a wedding? What?
No, it was some woman wanted it for the day, so she called up and,
Reserve
can we reserve it? And, yeah, $100, and I went down there and put a reserve sign on it. I mean, but then you get the flip side, we had a graduation open house at the park last weekend.
But nobody called and said we want to
They
reserve
didn't want to reserve it. If you don't reserve it, it's open to the public.
Right.
Use it.
So
They don't want
if
to pay
you,
for it, but
you
yeah, I
can
get
go
it. I
take
get
your
it.
chances, then
Oh,
it's gonna be open.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they
And
get
then
it?
it's for some
First come,
curve, and
first
it
served.
worked for them, and
Yeah.
it went great. But other ones are willing to, you know.
Just say, hey, I'd rather reserve it, I don't have to worry about it.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
second.
Everybody's second, we're out of here.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.